See how it looks.
Okay, everybody, back in Twitch land. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that we've had so far. Um, I've been told that we've been having some issues with the server, the Twitch server. So I've moved to a new server right now, um, and I think that everything is running a little bit more smoothly right now. So for those of you that have tried to tune in tonight for the episode and you've been having problems, I apologize. But I think we're back in the game now, guys. So when we last left our intrepid hero, thank you for joining Mako Shot. I really appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with us through the technical issues that we're having tonight. Not exactly sure what in the world is happening there, but um, I think it might be bad weather here in Northeast Ohio and around America here that's kind of bogging us down a bit. But regardless, one way or another, when we last left our intrepid heroes, or blackguards, our knaves as they might be here, um, you guys were walking with Canvar Lastic, one of the guards from the Free Cities City Watch, to the funeral home, to the Varick Funeral Home, and it's the walk is, like he said, about a half hour, and by the time you guys get there, it is probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now you're in the foreign quarter of the Free City of Greyhawk. And the foreign quarter of the Free City of Greyhawk is where foreigners stay, where you're not really a landowner. So there's a lot of different lodgings in there, a lot of different inns. It's very well kept. Whereas before you've seen places in the beggars quarter or in the in the slum quarter that are really kind of sketchy, and you're worried about getting knifed every 3 steps. In particular, this place is clean. It's calm. It's everything is very well lit. But there's really not a whole lot of people on the streets right now during the daytime. You guys will pass like a vendor selling fruit, selling cara fruit, or you'll be passing a bunch of kids at play in the middle of the street. Um, these you're not really seeing too much of anybody in particular on the streets though, and so as you get to the Varick Funeral Home, you're walking past this abandoned lot, and then another lot, and then or another lot, which is the funeral home, and then another abandoned lot. Uh, Canvar never even looks at the place. He continues down the street. You turn a left into another building, in which it is it says that Gnomish Cuisine. It's a restaurant. Um, you walk in the place, closes the door, pulls a blind down the window, and there's a gnome that's standing in there. He says, "It's Constable Lestic." He goes, "I see you've brought our friends." He looks over at the two of you. He goes, "This is where we've been staking out the funeral home from." He looks over. "This is Thistle Merriweather." He goes, "This is our contact here in the foreign quarter. Thistle,
Thank
this
you for
is
your services.
Siertik and Tehran." He goes, "They're with us." He goes, "Oh, you're the representative from the Thieves Guild." He looks at the two of you.
Thank you for your help in this.
"Oh, no problem, no problem at all." He goes, "Do either of one of you like Gnomish cuisine?" He goes, I'm letting these people use my home." He kind of walks around from the behind the place. But every piece of furniture in here is about a foot high off the ground. All right, you got tables here, the small chairs. He says, "I know you're tall folk." He says, "But perhaps I could get you some food, something to drink." He goes, "They've already eaten," but he looks over at the two of you.
I've actually never had Gnomish cuisine, so.
"Oh, well, I'll
if you
get you
have
something
anything
that won't
around,
upset your stomach too much." He says,
excellent.
He goes, "Everything here is very organic. We do a lot of vegetables. You look like a kind of guy who would like some poached pear and wine sauce." He nods. He says, "I'll bring
Sounds
it back."
good.
He goes, "The poached pears," he goes, "are relatively big." He goes, "It'll fill you up nicely." He turns around, walks behind the counter again. Canvar looks at you. He says, "The building that we passed before," he says, is a funeral home. Now, as you passed it before, you guys were casing the place out. Thieves have a tendency to do that, and or I should say, valuable acquirers have a tendency to do that. The buildings are actually connected. All three of them are in one long block with each other. There's the two buildings, as I said, were abandoned. The doors and the windows are closed and barred. Um, there's a on the front of both doors there is a permit for construction that looks very old to the point where it's been put under glass, like it's been framed in both of them. You did see windows that were barred, and they had flats of wood that were blocking the way in.
We're not talking like you could see in the window, but there's one board that's preventing it from being
Correct.
opened. Okay.
Correct. About maybe 15 minutes later, Thistle comes back with a plate for both of you. He goes, "Here's your poached pears, both of you." He goes, "I know you didn't say you wanted anything, sir." He says, "But he said I brought it anyway." And he goes, "No much hospitality." He goes, "We always want to make sure everyone has something." And here's some glasses of wine and some water for you. He goes, "This is Carol Fruit wine." He says, "It's from the Cron Hills." He goes, "I think you'll like it immensely. It's not a very old wine." He goes, "But it's good anyway." He goes, "I really like it." It goes well
General
with the pears.
knowledge. What's the value of this meal?
The value of the meal, probably about 5 silver.
Okay. I'll put 2 gold down.
No. I couldn't. He goes,
No.
You two are heroes of the free city. He goes, "You're going to help this whole block be safer." He goes, You're helping the watch." He says, "I could do no less than my part by feeding you. Please, I insist."
I continue to push them across the bar. I try to take care of the people that take care of me.
He nods. He says, "Well," he goes, you do me great honor by helping, and know that your involvement in this is very much appreciated by the whole community." Maybe about 10 minutes later, as you guys are sitting there eating your stuff. Actually, it's actually, "Hey, thanks, Lord Gasumba. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had earlier. It was really a pain, but we're back in the game now, and everything's going great. So thanks for joining in with us. Please go ahead, Tehran."
Okay. One thing I was going to say is also while he was the Thistle Merriweather was handling us with our food, I wanted to thank him and pat my hand on his shoulder a bit and say, well, we appreciate you helping us because we can't do what we do without you. And I'm going to attempt to drop 2 gold pieces into his pocket,
which you are able to do without him even noticing a bit.
Nate.
Yeah, you slide those in there, and he has absolutely no idea. While you're in his change purse, too, your roll was significant enough to know the following. He has a total of 2 gold pieces in there from Siertik. He has what felt like about 11 silver pieces, a small stone in there, and a piece of paper.
Oh, paper. Always tempting with the paper.
Just a small piece of paper, like a ribbon. Are you going to take anything while you're in there?
It's a recipe.
I'm just going to happen to have my finger graze around the ribbon and see if it'll just come out in my hand.
Yeah, it came out no problem.
Okay.
Okay. So the 2 of you are eating your poached pear. It's actually quite good. The Cara Fruit wine is a little bit maybe it's got a little bit of spice to it, like a spiced wine more than anything. So I don't know if that would appeal to your palate or not, but he was right. It does go pretty well with the poached pear.
The pears.
Tehran, are you going to read it?
Yes, I am.
It is a small ribbon of paper, maybe about 3 inches long, maybe a ½ inch tall, and printed on it in a very fine feminine script are the words, "Now is greater than the whole of the past." Tehran, I need you to roll me a percentage dice, please, at this point.
Okay. Gray. 42.
There's an inn within a relatively new inn that has been opened in the High Quarter by a pair of immigrants from far to the east. They're very strange people. They serve actually beverages that are cold there. They serve very strange food that's very spicy, but it's become very popular with people. They sell these weird kind of folded cookies, and you've had them before, and they have messages on the inside of them, and that's what this is.
That's what this is. Okay. Okay.
So, little tidbit for all you Greyhawk fans out there that remember this place. So, Siertik, you had something?
I've got nothing.
Okay. So about maybe 5 minutes later, after you're concluded with your meal, the door opens up to the edifice, and you see that Marissa and Danton walk in. Marissa is dressed as just a normal priestess of Palor, and Danton is dressed very nondescript as just a normal, looks like an aristocrat. comes in, looks at
Okay.
the two of you. He goes, I hope that I hope this is acceptable. Kind of makes like a face like, gee, I hope this is good.
Well, I do say you do clean up very nicely.
He laughs a little bit. He goes, not really. He says, this is he goes, I'm from a working family. He looks up and down at himself. He goes, I had to borrow this from the captain. He goes, we're lucky I'm about the same size. Marissa, by the way, I should mention, physically speaking, now that she's in her robes, it's more obvious. She's about 6'4" and very, very powerfully built woman. She's, like I said, she's approachably pretty, but she's got that kind of a powerful build that would probably intimidate a lot of people.
Mhm.
She looks over at Taran and Siertik and she says that we're both armed. Hopefully we've hidden it well enough. Can't really tell. It's hard to say. Said I had to dispense with my longsword. He goes, I've got a short sword and I've got a crossbow. Looks over at the at Marissa. She says, my mace is tucked away in here. It's kind of a thin one. She says it's not really the one I prefer, but in the interest of being a little more circumspect, I thought this would be a little bit better.
Mhm.
He looks over at the three of you, at Canvar and the two of you. He says, "So have we come up with a plan yet?"
Oh, well,
Well, let's think about it. How you guys want to approach this?
Are there any back windows that we could see in what's facing us? The bakery? Is it long
Facing you,
ways
the
or is it
bakery. Yeah,
facing?
facing you from across the street. You're about maybe 100 feet down the street to your
the street.
west would be
Mhm.
this building. Okay, it's a block of 3 buildings, as I mentioned. There's alleys that go to
Okay.
alongside it to the left and the right of it. There's a
Mhm.
back alley, which Danton tells you. Because along the back alley, he goes, the windows are all barred and boarded. He says, but I will mention this. He says, if you try and look in that funeral home, he says, you're not going to find any windows in that back. He
Well,
goes, and as a matter of fact, he says, we had one of our dwarven engineers look at the place. He says it looks like there were once windows at the back. He goes, but it looks like they've been more recently they've been masoned over.
so my thought is, let's take the back window of the bakery, and if
Mhm.
we can pop one side of the bar off and slide it down, maybe we can leave one person outside to put it back up, and then we could have a party of 4 go inside and look
Danton
around.
says, I'm the strongest. I'll stay outside in the alley. He says, besides, he says, I have having a little bit more authority than these two. He goes, I can rally a group of watchers a little faster if things go sideways.
That sounds like a plan.
He says, Marissa, he goes, Canvar, do what these two say. Marissa says, I can get that window open. I'm pretty sure, pretty easy. Canvar looks at the two of you. I guess that's what we'll do.
Okay.
So the four, I should say, of you walk out of the building,
Mhm.
kind of in stages a little bit, so as to be a little less
Less conspicuous.
conspicuous.
Yeah.
But soon enough, you're all behind in the alley behind the funeral home. And what
Okay.
you see is exactly what they describe. It's a long block of buildings. It's probably maybe 400 feet in length, the block of buildings. And as he mentioned, there are 2 windows that lead to the back of the bakery. There are 2 windows that lead to the back of the tavern. The bakery, you can actually see between the 2 windows, there is a large outcropping from the building that looks like it was probably the furnace, I should say the oven for the bakery. It's just kind of the perturbation in the outside of the building. But besides that, it's a smooth wall. Um, Marissa looks at the window. She kind of whispers to you guys. She says, "Do you have a preference? Which one? Which window?"
So I have dice in my pocket. Is that all right as
Yeah.
character?
Oh, sure. Of
So
course.
I just get down on the ground and I roll my dice, and I like to go with the left or the right one. Sorry.
You as you're pulling the dice out, Marissa kind of lifts an eyebrow. Canvar looks at, whispers over. They're thieves. Of course they carry dice. What do you think they do in their spare time? She just kind of shrugs a little bit. She goes, I suppose. Okay, the right one. She walks over to the right one. She grabs her mace, kind of puts it in there, pries it on the window a little bit. You see her struggle just slightly and pops the bar. Kind
One
of,
side.
yep, pulls it out. And as you see her do that, the two of you look at it, and you see the feat that she just did of strength. She is actually really strong to have pulled that off. That was actually a pretty impressive feat. She bends the bar down a little bit. After you, gentlemen. Danton comes walking around the
I'm
corner
like a
of the
strong
building.
woman.
He looks at the two of you. Says, looks like you guys have already made some headway. He goes, I'll stay here. He goes, the two of you guys can, the four of you. He goes, Paylor, bless your endeavors.
So see if you can set it right back in place and get it to stay. And
She
no one will
pulls it
even know
kind
we're
of
in.
up. She goes, it looks like if I bend it a little bit, I can get it back into place. She goes, she looks over at Danton. She goes, you think you could do this once we're all inside? No problem.
Okay. So can I open the windows? Do they push in, push
Yep,
out?
you pushes right up. You open the window.
Oh, yep.
Which
double
one of you
hunt.
leads?
I'll go.
Okay,
Nope.
Siertik, you're
Nope.
gonna go. Siertik,
Yeah.
you crawl in through the window. There's
With
dust
panache.
everywhere inside there. You walk in through the building, and what you see is this: the window leads into a 10 by 10 area.
Okay.
There's a door in the front of it. There's dust everywhere. There's two large steel or looks like metal tables in there. Looks like they were for food preparation at one point. There's an
Okay.
empty wall rack in there, empty except for a couple. It looks like there's tins of old food that are in there.
Yep.
When you get in there, you hear rats scurry a little bit, but nothing. There's nothing too large in there. Seems out of place.
Okay.
Tehran, will you follow him in there?
I'm following right in behind him.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're right behind him. As you two get in there, you also hear the guards begin to follow you. Kanvar first, followed by Marissa. What will you do, Siertik and Tehran, when you're in the room?
Okay, so when I first get in the room, we're gonna have to backtrack a couple seconds.
Okay.
I want to look at the rats.
The
I wanna
rats
try to-
or the rack?
The rats.
Okay. What are you trying to determine?
I want to see if they know of any secret spots. Like if they're scurrying towards an underground chamber that I don't know
What
about.
they're scurrying is they scurry. A couple of them go towards the door itself and try. They're looking like the door in this place. You have to remember, we're dealing with when you're talking about the Free City of Greyhawk, you're dealing with the medieval area. So
Right.
nothing is
Big
not
guys.
everything has a great seams has not everything has is been weather stripped or everything so that it will close perfectly. So there's room for them to scurry under it. Some of them go
Sure.
towards the wall, but not the wall at which towards the funeral home.
Okay.
Okay.
Tehran, you walk you get in the room and you see Sierra kind of down low looking at where these rats are going, and you see the same thing. But what you notice is having followed him, there's enough dust in this room that footprints are very apparent on the floor.
Okay.
His footprints. There is no other disturbance in the dust on the floor. You don't exactly have to be a ranger to figure that out.
I'm also going to take a look up towards the ceiling of the room as well.
Okay, you look at the ceiling of the room.
Okay. Well, what is it?
Ceiling is unadorned. It's just simple stone. On the wall that would be closest to the funeral home, there is an iron sconce that has been set there. A torch is in there, but it's long since dead.
But the sconce still remains.
The sconce still remains.
Okay.
The two guards walk in there. They get kind of low on the ground. Kanvar kind of touches the floor, looks up at the two of you, says, because I don't know about the two of you, what your tracking abilities are, or you've got any skills there. He goes, but I do. He goes, this hasn't been disturbed in a while.
I think that's fine. Doesn't mean doesn't mean it's not an exit for them
Oh.
to leave in case of an emergency.
And not only
Um,
that, he goes, but there's ways to disguise that too. He goes, this is where our background as detectives helps. He goes, they have stuff like dust of dryness, things like that that could easily be, spells like pass without a trace. There's ways to get around this.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it doesn't surprise me that it's here, but it is something to note.
Yeah. Is the chimney or the stove that we had talked about from outside, is that
No,
in
it's
this
not
room?
visible in this room. It's obviously in a room that you're not in.
Okay. I would like to work towards that room because if I were to be working in a building, I would do either, if I wasn't using it anymore, I would ladder it up to the roof
Okay.
or maybe dig underneath it.
Mhm.
Marissa looks mildly impressed when you say that. No, she looks over at Canvar. Canvar just kind of grins back at her and nods, almost as if to say, "I told you these guys would be good." Um, all right, he says. Canvar says, "We're the fighters." He goes, "You want us to lead, or you guys want to lead?" He goes, "How do you want to approach this?" We were told to let you guys lead this whole operation, so it's up to you.
I think him and I should lead, and we'll keep it quiet. We'll check. We'll check the next area, then we'll come back and we'll lead you in if that's okay
Mhm.
with.
One thing, Sirtik, as we're going from room to room, I mean, I know we're leading the rest behind us, but even though if there's someone here or some way here that anyone can come out and through, they also know, even with the bars in the window, that this is a likely place that someone could attempt entry. Maybe just as we go through the doorways, you might want to check for any type of traps or anything that may have been set up in advance just as a precaution against anyone as imaginative of us coming in here.
Right, that's good.
know.
Or
I'd like you both to
tripwires to
roll
inform
percentage
them.
dice at this
Yeah.
point. I'd like you both to roll
What's that?
percentage dice.
Okay. 21.
95.
As you guys are doing that, you see that Canvar is checking the wall, and he's obviously looking for some kind of secret doors and stuff like that, checking the sconces and things. You're looking at the door. Siertik, you don't really see much of anything, but Tehran, as you're looking at it, there is definitely something about the keyhole in here. You're looking at it, a little bit deeper investigation, kind of peering into there. It looks like there's something on the outside of this door that's putting tension on it. There's definitely a trap here. Or would you like to try and disarm it?
Yeah, I'm going to signal to Sirtik and just kind of. Well, as thieves, do we have a certain amount of how the thieves can't with communicating with
You
each
do
other
have
even
thieves.
by
You do speak
gestures?
thieves' cant.
Okay, then I am going to signal to him, letting him know without saying anything for the others to hear that I do detect something.
Okay,
And I'm
Siertek,
going to.
as you look and as he signals to you, you understand him completely. You both have the sign language. You both have the body jibe that goes into thieves' cant, as well as a spoken language. So you kind of alert each other to what's going on, and once he alerts you to it, it becomes evident to you where the trap is as well.
Okay.
Would you both like to try and remove it?
I have got a question.
Of course.
These walls, do they go to the ceiling, or
Yes, they
can
do.
you actually climb over a
They
wall?
go to the ceiling.
Okay. Yeah, I think our only option is going to be to disarm it.
Canvar looks over at you and says, "No secret doors that I can tell." Sirtik and Tehran, percentage dice, please, for both of you.
Okay.
18.
43.
18, you say, Sirtik?
Yes.
Okay. As you look at the trap, now that Tehran has actually made you aware of it, Tehran, you really don't see a good way to get rid of this thing. You see exactly how it's been designed. What it is there's something like spring-loaded behind the door, and it's been designed so as soon as the door opens, it's going to snap into the open doorway from probably like from the wall. So the easiest way to disarm this, you figure, would probably be to add length to the rope, actually add length to the rope so that you can control how it will open and close. So you're able to do that with the trap, and these two are watching you at your work. They're watching you tie a little knot through the keyhole with your thieves' tools on this thing, using some of your silk rope. And pretty soon you feel like you've got it to the point where you can control the trap outside.
Okay.
Will you open the door?
Do you want the honor, Sirtic, or shall I?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Siertik, you open the door, and true to the to your idea, what was revealed is a hallway, dusty again. It's about maybe 25 feet long, and then it turns abruptly to the left. And against the wall, someone has made an impromptu hinge outside the door, on which an arm swings back and forth. There's many spikes on this arm, and it was spring-loaded. As soon as this door opened, it would snap right in front of the door and impale somebody that was walking through the door. Because you've got length on the rope, though, on the string, and you're able to control it as you open the door, it's no problem for the two of you.
Okay.
So it does trigger the trap, though.
It would trigger the trap if you
But we're
wanted
away.
it to. But now that
Yeah,
you've got it disarmed, you have control over the trap.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think maybe actually it with the snap, it might be pretty loud in here.
It would have been pretty loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll prevent it from.
Okay, you're gonna prevent it.
Mhm.
Canvar looks over at you and says, "Well, I'm going to tell you right now." He goes, "Nobody traps a door like this, and if they don't have something to hide."
Not to mention, it's absolutely rude.
Marissa laughs and she looks over at Canvar. She says, "You're really showing your detective skills pointing that out." He just kind of grumbles.
I worry about floor traps now, though.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of you continue on down the hallway.
Yeah.
Walk down the hallway, and as the hallway turns, it ends in another door. But this door is open. No footprints this whole way. You're checking for traps, as you said, the entire way, right?
Yes.
Both of you roll me a percentage.
Yeah. 58.
And Siertik?
46.
Okay. You don't detect anything as you're going down the hallway. It seems pretty much normal. As the bend in the hallway turns, through the open doorway, you can see a foyer. It looks like a open area in which there was a counter there, a couple tables. Chairs are up on top of the table. Dust everywhere. It looks like this is where most of the bakery's business was conducted. There's a glass face on the front of the counter that's on the far side of the room. On the far side and the back of the room to the that would be leading back towards the direction that you went and towards the direction of where the fireplace was, there's another door there. This one is closed.
I say we go in there.
You can see out into the, by the way, from where you are, you can see out into the main road
Dining
outside.
Oh, okay.
And are you guys going to check for traps and things?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Percentage dice for both of you?
We're taking nothing for granted in here.
Yes.
That's 28.
17.
You both look at these, and you're both absolutely sure that though this is not trapped, although the door is locked. Behind you, hey Siertik, Tehran, I found something. The guy says. Canvar says.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, check this out. He says, right over there. He points over at the glass case. Inside of it, the bottom of it, where you imagine sweets and things would be put for display. Goes, you notice anything odd about that? He points into a corner of the case, and it's all dusty except for one spot, probably about the size of a human hand.
In the case.
Inside the case.
Inside the case.
He looks over at the
So-
two of you.
We're thinking like a little chamber, like a little.
Yeah, it looks like it would be about as big enough as a child's coffin, maybe.
Oh, okay.
He sees that area. He looks at you. He says, "Do you want to do anything about it, or should we just move on, or what do you think?"
Yeah, I say we dig around in there. There might be.
All right.
Um,
Siertik, you go over there. Are you gonna follow him, Tehran?
Absolutely.
Both of you make percentage dice.
Now this is a glass case.
It's a glass case, yes.
Okay.
But the back of it is wood, and it slides back and forth. So you could put
okay.
in different treats for people to look at.
Okay. A 77.
77, Siertik?
I have 7.
Okay, perfect. You see, neither of you see any traps in there, but there is a false bottom to the glass case, which can be accessed by this corner. You lift it up. What you lift up in there is you see a suit of brand new and very well kept leather armor. There is a sword in there. There is a scroll case in there, and there is a bag, like a change purse, like a big sack in there, leather sack. All of them are new. All of them have been put in there probably by your guess within the last few months.
I take the bag.
Okay.
And I close it back down.
Close the bag. Okay, close it down. Tehran, you got to do anything? Take anything?
Let's see.
Marissa looks at you guys and says, "What do you think this is for?"
Did I see what was in there?
Yeah, you saw everything that was in there.
Okay. And you, what did you take, Siertek?
So hold on. I think there's armor, a sword, and a bag of gold or whatever.
And a scroll case.
Oh, in the scroll case. I meant to take the scroll case, and I'm gonna share it. I'm not trying to steal.
No.
Okay, you're gonna take the scroll case. You're gonna leave the bag then.
Well, how big's the bag?
The bag is probably about the size of a normal dice bag.
I'd like to take both. Is that possible?
Yeah, you take both. Are you guys gonna look inside of them?
Yeah, I don't think I want to carry around armor or a sword that I've not experienced with. So I'm like, I'll come back later for it.
Siertik, what you see inside, Tehran, you guys are both looking inside the bag. The bag has, it looks like it has 25 small diamonds in there. They just glitter and sparkle in the light.
Okay.
They look like they're relatively valuable to you. Probably each of one of them worth about 50 to 75 gold pieces. More interestingly, at the bottom of it, there are also 100 gold pieces that are resting. These diamonds are resting on a bed of 100 gold pieces. But what's most interesting about them is the gold has no mint to them. They are completely blank.
Completely blank.
Yes, that is very interesting to you because nations in the world of Greyhawk mint their own coinage, generally speaking. That you should have blank coinage is very, very odd. In fact, it's an old thieves' trick. When you need to run somewhere and you don't know where you're going to go,
you can mint them. Okay, so I take Tehran to the side, and I'd like to divvy this up. I have, I'm not. This is a party. I feel like we're all equal to it. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
You pull Tehran aside. Marissa and Canvar look over at each other, and you can hear them whisper to one another. They've got secrets. You hear Canvar say, and Marissa says, "Let them have their secrets. They saved our lives with the door."
No secrets. I'm looking to divvy this up. Do you guys want to divvy it up now, or would you prefer to divvy it up?
Let's keep moving. In case they've got this place under surveillance. Marissa says.
Yeah. Okay. So I snap it onto my hip.
I'm most interested in that scroll case that you opened.
Okay.
So we pop it open.
You pop it open. Are you gonna read it?
I'm dumping it out. Yeah.
There are all kinds of arcane symbols and glyphs on it. Neither one of you can really get a feel for what it says, but what you do feel is in the bottom corner of it, stamped in this great wax seal, is the grinning skull symbol of Ayus.
Okay.
Yeah, grinning skulls are never good. Okay.
Marissa just kind of stiffens a little bit when she sees it, and Canvar says, "Well, there's no doubt where we are now."
Party town.
Would one of you like to hold this as evidence to be used later?
Marissa says, I would prefer not to touch it. And Canvar says, "Then I'll take it." He rolls up the cards, puts it in there, puts it in one of his in another scroll case down there. He says, "Let's go ahead and move on then."
Well, one question.
Of course.
Now I don't know what is Danvar. I know Marissa has her mace. Do we see a weapon on Danvar?
Kanvar looks down
Danvar?
at his side. He every once in a while, when his cloak opens up, you can see there's a rapier in there.
Okay. I'm going to just say to him, well, although I see you are armed and more steel is always better than less, we did also see a sword
He looks over,
in there.
says, "Yeah, I don't know about how concealable it is, though." He goes, "That's why I took the rapier."
Yeah. Well, we're in here, so anyone we run into are very likely going to be seeing whatever weapons we have on us.
Fair enough.
When we draw them.
He goes,
well, we can worry about the visibility once we get back out onto the
"Fair
street.
enough, I'll take it." He goes in there and
Besides-
grabs it. Says,
Plus, I wouldn't want whoever this was intended for to come back and find anything useful against us while we're here.
"Pretty
thinking.
light," he says. Wiggles it around a little bit. He says, "Wow, it's almost too light." Goes ahead, he puts it on his other hip, gets it affixed to his belt. "All right, move on." He looks at two of you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Our Arcanist or Magic User, what's the character's name again?
She's a cleric, and that's Marissa.
Cleric.
You have no
okay.
magic user with you.
Okay, so I was thinking I'd like to know if that's magically imbued or cursed.
She looks at. She goes, "Well, I can tell you that." She looks
okay.
over at it.
Hey.
Marissa puts her fingertips on it. They kind of glow gently with the holy light of Palor as she touches it. Definitely.
Uh-oh.
Definitely magic.
What about this piece of armor here?
She looks down at it, touches it. Not so much.
Okay.
In fact, you know one thing? The armor we're leaving, if we're not taking it, I want to take my dagger and just start undoing some of the seams on it so that whoever may try to use this won't be able to wear it.
Kanvar nods. He goes, "Good idea. Really
Thinking.
good idea."
If
So
I
you guys
spoke
go
to
ahead. You guys
Johnny-
close the case back up.
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah, to me, based on what I'm seeing in here, this is probably an escape route for these guys. They'll probably try and grab that on their way out.
Fight their way out.
Won't they be
Mhm.
surprised?" He smirks.
Besides, you see the work on those studs on that leather? That was horrible.
He laughs a little bit. Marissa giggles. You guys go through the door
craftsmanship.
in the back?
Say it again.
Are you going to go through the door in the back of the room?
Yep.
Okay, I need you to roll me percentage dice because it is locked, as I mentioned.
26.
And
25.
Oh, easy. Both of you guys are. One of you guys puts your pick in there, and the other one of it kind of taps it around. Both of you work at it. You hear the thing click open, no problem. Little teamwork there for the both of you. You guys open it up, no problem.
In fact, I'm even going to ask Sertic. I'm going to say, that's a pretty good pick. Who makes your tools?
I think it's you, right?
Oh, yes, it is.
So the two of you guys open the door. Hallway goes down, and it opens up into a large area. Directly ahead of you, you can see the fireplace.
Okay.
So that's where I'm gonna first gonna go. I'm gonna look for traps on the way because I am still worried. I mean, a foot trap is pretty easy to make.
Okay, percentage dice.
Yep.
Kanvar pulls you up as you guys are starting to walk. He goes, "There's tracks over there." He goes right by the fireplace. Go ahead. What do you guys percentage dice got?
24.
And Sertic?
60.
60? Okay. Tehran, as you guys are looking ahead, there are no traps that you can see. Sertic is very hard for you to determine. But as you guys approach the open area, you can see that he's not wrong. There's tracks on there. They don't look like they go anywhere, though. They're all like foot traffic all around the fireplace.
Can we discern about how many individuals, or it just seems that it's...
No, you can't. But when you are trying to, Kanvar looks down at it and says, "I say about 4."
Okay.
He says, "But I think it's weird that they don't go anywhere." He goes, "I don't see them enter the room or exit. Maybe there's something to what Siertek said about they go up and down this thing.
I think they come down the chimney, and then there might be another path below. But
Marissa
yeah, so I
looks
guess
at you. She says, I have a bad feeling about this. If I were to, if this is a come and go area, this place has got to be trapped. As
the
you
building
see, as you
maybe,
see the
but
room, by the way, again, just like the other room, there's large tables on along both walls for food preparation. There's dust everywhere on them. There is once again, as you get near the door, you hear rats scurry everywhere, or I should say, towards the main area of the room. There's 2 large wall racks there that were probably once full of ingredients for baking goods, but there's nothing there. On each one of the tables that is in there, there's all kinds of food preparation equipment, as far as like rolling pins. Looks like maybe a meat mallet that's there, things like that.
okay.
Some knives, a bowl.
I'd like to. Oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say I'd like to maybe with the racks that used to hold various ingredients or anything. Are they like floor to ceiling, or are they just hanging
Floor
on
to
the
ceiling.
wall? Floor to ceiling. I'd like to look around there and detect for any type of either hidden or secret doors.
Both of you make me a 6-sider.
Mhm. Let me see. My nature is usually good
2?
for spotting this. 1.
Okay, well, both of you being half elves are able to determine right away that there are no secret doors in there. However, the tampering with this fireplace is quite evident to you both. It looks like that this fireplace, it is not as wide outside as it is inside. It looks like what it is it's probably about 5 feet wide in here, but outside it was only 2 feet wide.
Okay.
Neither one of the other two notice that they're looking for secret doors on the wall.
I'd like to look up the chimney first. Stick my head in, look up.
How close to the inside of the chimney are you getting?
I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go.
Go right
my
to it?
body's. I intend for my body to be out and my arm to be on the mantle and just to look in.
Okay. As you begin to get to the chimney, Siertek, you start getting close to it. You get probably maybe about 2 feet away, and the inside of the chimney suddenly erupts in a large fire. I need you to make me percentage dice, and then I need you both make me a 6-sider. What'd you get, Siertek, for percentage?
79.
And what'd you get for the 6-sider?
4.
Okay, and what'd you get, Tehran, for your 6-sider?
6-sider is 6.
Okay. Siertek, as you're getting closer, the thing erupts in fire, and in the fire, you see a pair of these glowing eyes inside the fire that stare out at you with menace. You manage to just leap and roll out of the way. A practice acrobat like yourself, it's relatively easy tumbling. I mean, this is what you do. You spring up to your feet, and crawling out of the fireplace, you see a small creature composed completely of fire. It looks like a lion that's starting to stride forth at you, and when it roars, all that you see is the heat rolling out of its mouth, flames licking off of its body, black smoke tufts coming up off of its mane everywhere. Tehran, you rolled a 6 for your initiative. Neither one of you were surprised by this, so Tehran, you may act first. What would you like to do?
Yeah, how large is this creature coming out of the
Probably about
fireplace?
5 feet long and probably about 3 feet tall.
So small lion, maybe?
Yeah, small lion.
And it's comprised entirely of fire.
Of flame.
What's that?
Of flame, yes.
Of flame. Okay. Okay, well. Taking my shiny sword.
Okay.
And not that I'm adverse to anyone wanting to guard their area. I think it's time to take Kitty out.
Okay, make me a 20-sider, please.
I'm sorry,
Well,
what?
Go ahead and
roll
make me a
20.
20.
Oh, 20? Okay.
And while this is going on, I'd like to. Am I feeling heat?
Yeah, you feel all kinds of heat off the thing.
Okay, because the illusion thing, I'm like, am I seeing
you
illusion
feel all
right
kinds
now?
of heat
Okay.
off of it.
All right.
But
There is
Siertek,
that too.
also roll me a 20-sider. What'd you roll, Tehran, for your attack?
17.
Okay, please roll me a d8 for damage.
D8. 7.
Okay, Sierra, what'd you roll on your 20?
8.
You are aware, however, that there are illusion spells that do have temperature components. Higher level,
Oh.
but there are some that do have that. Sierra, what you see is Tehran, in a flourish, pulls his steel from his sword, from his sheath. The magical glow sparkles and twinkles around it like fairy gossamer moonlight. And as it slashes through the air, it hits the flaming creature. The stuff of fire, just almost like a volcanic explosion, erupts out the other side of it as he hits it. The beast roars in pain. What'd you roll for damage, Tehran?
7.
It does not look like it's terribly hurt, but he hit it very hard, you can tell. Sierra, you would be attacking next thanks to your dexterity. What would you like to do?
It's a 6-second round, so I'd like to wait a couple seconds. Does it look like it's recovered? Like I'm trying to see. I'm trying to really determine if this is an illusion or not.
When Tehran hit it, it looked like it was in a lot of pain.
Okay.
Okay, but
illusions, right? Okay.
But
it
is also still fit. It was fixated on you, but it now is kind of looking like more like Tehran is the threat.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
So I'm gonna make an attack as well.
Okay, make me a 20, please.
Yep. 20 is.
What'd you roll?
1.
A 1?
Yeah.
Okay, you swing clear over it, and you miss it wildly, and by doing so, you actually stagger a couple steps closer to its mouth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you see Marissa in the back of the room. She's making this complex gesture with her hands. She's got her holy symbol. It's hovering in the midst of her hands. It's starting to glow and radiate with light. Kanvar starts to approach, and he rushes the thing. He rushes the thing, swings his new sword, the one that he found in the thing, and he goes right through it and misses cleanly. Its turn. Sierra, it's going to attack. It's going to attack Tehran. Tehran, it lunges forth at you, and you kind of manage to twist your body and lower yourself to the ground. The thing leaps over at you as it's trying to bite at you. You feel the heat radiate past you. It's so hot immediately you break into a sweat with it being so close to you. The smoke that rises off of it, the heat just it almost dehydrates you just for its mere presence being close to you. It jumps, lands on the ground, turns around, roars again at you. As it roars forth, smoke and heat pour forth from its mouth. Doesn't seem to affect you too much, though. What's your move?
Okay, it made an attack. Did it look like its intent was to jump over me?
No, it looks like it was intent to try and bite you in half and immolate.
Oh, try and bite me. Okay. Just making sure it wasn't like.
Yeah, it was attacking you directly.
How close is it to the door now?
Probably about 4 feet.
Do you want to push it? Like you and me work together and try to shove it out the door and shut the door?
I don't know if we should leave this thing, burning around.
Okay.
Because if you push it out, it's going to alert somebody by setting fire to the place.
Sierra, you also know that the door is made out of wood. It would be able to get through there in no time.
Yeah.
In minutes, but if we got out of here in minutes.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay.
Tehran?
Where do you want to go? I already liked how you and our other faithful warrior at least were distracting it by waving your swords over its head. A good tactical move.
Tehran, your attack. What are you going to do?
I'm going to swing my trusty little sword.
Okay, make me a 6-sider, or me a 20.
And simply say, I'm sorry, and simply say, bad kitty. And it's 20.
Oh, wow. Okay, no damage roll. You guys see Tehran come towards the thing, swings his sword and a flourish around twice in front of his face, hits the thing in the side of the head with the blade. And you actually see it bisect the flame. It starts to almost like dematerialize the face. It twists and warps. It looks like it's about ready to explode into flame all around him.
Explode.
The whole thing just tries to roar forth, and its head is now indistinguishable as far as features. It's just this roaring bonfire. Sierra, your turn. He heard, he clearly heard it badly.
Okay. Jeez. Let's see. How many daggers can I throw?
3 around.
2? I'm gonna throw 3 daggers right at its face, and then hopefully it goes down and I can retrieve them.
Make me your 320s, please.
7.
Miss.
3.
Miss.
3.
Miss. One of them sticks in the wall. Another one sticks in one of the the door itself, like the side of the jamb of it. And the other one just misses, goes sailing down the hallway.
And then I say, "Did you guys see that?"
Camper, little busy, he says as he attacks it again. He misses cleanly over it, and Marissa lets go of her holy symbol. It's hanging in midair. The face of Palor, its rays just explode out throughout the room for a moment, and you see as it rains over top of the burning lion, it just seems to completely expunge it for a moment. She looks at the two of you and she says, "It's dispelled, but if it's actually bound here, it'll be back in moments."
So I run and grab my daggers.
You grab your daggers. What are you gonna do, Tehran?
First, I'm going to tell Sirtik we definitely owe her dinner when we get out of here.
Yeah.
Secondly, okay, that thing's gone. I'm going to take a quick look into the fireplace like Sirtik did. See
It's empty, but only cinders are there, and there's an arcane rune at the bottom of it. It looks like a sign of fire.
A sign of fire?
Yeah, it's definitely bound here.
Can I damage it with my sword?
You could. What that would mean, though, is if it's actually being held here, it would be free willed at that point in time.
It might leave if it don't like being here.
Yeah, and it might burn half of the foreign quarter to the
bakery
ground.
down too. Okay, all right. So checked everywhere in here. This room. It's bound there. We didn't detect any other.
Nope. Just the only way out seems to be the fireplace.
Seems to be the what? I'm sorry.
Only the fireplace seems to be the only way out of the room.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to check around inside the fireplace now. Since that's
you look in the fireplace, and what you
wider
see
in here than.
Siertik comes back down the hallway with his daggers in hand. As he comes back into the room, you see there have been mortared into the wall rungs of a ladder inside of the fireplace, going up.
Okay.
Is there a metal grate underneath where the ash would fall down?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Well, then I would suggest before our friend reappears, or may come back, anyone want to go up?
Canvar says, "You want us to stay here in case it comes back?"
No, because if it's bound here in some way, it'll be here when we come back.
All right, well, let's go. Who's first?
I'll lead.
Tehran, you lead. You're going up the ladder. Siertik, you following him?
Yes.
Okay, you guys are following him. The two of you, I would assume, are doing so. You do not detect traps on the ladder. Soon enough, as you get to the ladder, you see at the very top of the fireplace, the chimney, there is a grate there, metal grate.
Okay.
That's covering the top of the chimney to get onto the roof.
Yes, it's very fine grill work. It doesn't look like it's too thick though, Tehran. You could probably cut it with your sword.
Okay. First, I'm going to just do a quick listen at the grate. Do I hear any?
Make me a percentage die, please.
Yep.
I ask him what the problem is, being behind him.
48, and I'm going to tell Sirtik I want to make sure nobody's standing guard on the other side of this.
You listen to it. You hear wind.
I ask him, are you familiar with the locking mechanism on this thing? Is it preventing people from coming out or people from getting on the roof and coming in?
You look at it, and it looks like it's been mortared into the actual chimney fabric, the stone itself. Your guess is it's probably to prevent birds and things like that from getting in.
Okay.
bats and things like that.
So it's not a latch mechanism. This is
No, it's
fixed.
actually cemented in there.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't. It's not made. It doesn't appear to be made to be opened at all.
No.
I'm gonna slide back down.
As you slide back down, you're going back down. You're right behind him. You do notice that there is a secret door on the side of the chimney itself.
Inside.
Inside.
Okay.
Are you going to open it?
Yeah, I'll dig it open.
Okay. You open it up. You don't feel trapped in there, fortunately. As you open up, you think to yourself halfway through, I should have checked this thing. But then you're fortunate you don't feel anything. When you open it up, what you hear is the sound of soft music playing, like kind of a gentle, kind of almost sonorous tone. You smell incense. You feel a different temperature than the other room you went into. You open it up, and when you open it up into is a small corridor, like 5 by 5.
So not crawling. I can stand in it.
You can stand, but barely. You can hunch
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
You gonna go through? Marissa's gonna have to crawl through.
Yeah, I'll go right through.
Okay. Sierra,
I'll start looking for traps.
Tehran,
now.
you hear this? You see it. Are you gonna follow him in?
I'm going to follow him in.
Okay, you go. You follow him in. Now the marching order is Sierra, Tehran, Kanvar, and then Marissa, who is crawling. You guys go through, and at the very end of it, there's a slope that goes very sharply downward.
That you can walk on, or you're gonna slide.
Walk on.
Oh, okay. While I attempt to.
Okay.
I can trust it.
You feel like you can.
Is there anything I can tie off to?
A member of your party.
Okay. I still don't trust this, so I think we should tie off to our largest member, which is going to be the
Marissa.
Okay.
Marissa takes the rope. She wraps it around herself a couple times. Feels sturdy as hell. Kanvar actually grabs it too.
Okay. My attempt is to walk down.
Okay, you walk down it.
Kind
of like a rappel motion, or walk straight.
Not even.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk down. I'm confident I can take it, but I'm gonna have rope in hand. So if I slip,
the third step you take down the thing, the entire hallway itself actually you don't know where it came from. This thing just appears on it. It's a glaze of some sort. And you start to slide down very quickly.
Okay.
But you grab onto your rope, no problem. Tehran, you're still above this glaze a little bit, so you saw it. So obviously, Sierra, that was a pretty good move on his part.
I don't know about that. So I'm gonna just ride it down in a rappel and just keep my feet flat.
Okay, you keep your feet flat. You rappel down at the very bottom. At the very bottom of it, the ground is it levels off, and there's a door there. On the doorway, there are tons of metal spikes. Ugh. So it was clear that it was meant that somebody would slide down there and
hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to look at the door over for traps real quick, and
you
then
do not hear traps. You do not see traps. It is locked. But what you do hear is this is where the music and the incense smell is coming from.
Okay, so I'm thinking we get the entire party down except the last person that has the rope. And there's nothing to tie off up there.
Nope.
Besides our party member.
Yep. Marissa says, I guess I'm staying up here.
I'd almost prefer you down here.
Well, how am I going to get down there without getting impaled?
We're going to open that door and you're going to slide down.
Paler bless. All right. All right.
Or wait, who's next to come down in the order?
It would be Kanvar would be next.
Kanvar would be next? Because I'm thinking, okay, now the way this slides down, Kanvar is probably a good choice for strength-wise, but I'm thinking if he goes down next, and then even if then Marissa holds rope, I'll come down.
Right.
And then Marissa can slide down and we'll catch her at the bottom before she hits the door. and we'll have to stop her when she slides down.
I don't know how
Possible.
far is the distance.
Yeah, how
it's-
far from where it opens to the door?
She's probably going to get about 30 feet of momentum.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
And she's got armor under those ropes.
Oh, those will protect her from the spikes.
Probably not.
Probably not.
The bigger probability is she's going to be a massive bowling ball coming down there that's going to hurl all of you into them.
Right. That's
yeah.
But
So-
she's a healer too, and I don't want to. I prefer to have a healer on my hip than a rope on my exit.
Okay, so you're going to open the door then, I assume.
With a
Okay.
with a 3/4 party down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Sierra, make me a percentage die. Actually, you too, Tehran.
Okay. Hold on.
Man, I'm rolling trash.
What'd you get?
92.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to say all my rolls after him, just so we
Sure.
smooth. But
Yeah. I did 74.
Okay, Tehran, you see the reason why Siertic is a little bit baffled by this. The lock is very complex. It's almost like a puzzle lock. It takes you a little while to get through it, actually, but between the two of you, you've managed to piece it out well enough that with a couple spacers placed in there of clay that you guys have brought with you, you're able to move it into place enough that it opens.
Okay.
Open it up, and you are standing in a room that is about 40 foot long by about 30 foot wide. It's square until a door in the corner, which is in the exact, from your perspective, if you're looking north into the room, it would be in the northeast corner of the room. It is at an angle on the wall. The room itself, as you walk in there, is, as I said, you get that the quiet music is gently wafting into the room. The smell of incense is in there. What you see in there is actually it looks like a chapel of some kind. There's a small dais in the room that rises up from the floor to meet the wall. Up on top of it is a large marble block. Flanking it on both sides are silver candelabra. Against the south wall, or excuse me, against the other wall, the one where the door is a much smaller marble block upon which is an iron stand. Dangling from the iron stand is a brazier in which incense is lit. There's a glass dome on the ceiling, and from which soft light rains into the room. Northeast corner of the room, the corner of the room on which the big dais is, there's a small wooden credenza in there, which contains a leather and a cover with a little bit of a lace doily on top of it. What will you do?
well, it doesn't look like there's anybody in here, so I
No,
think
there's
we
nobody in
can-
here. The sound of it's like organ music in here. It's very quiet, but it's got a somber kind of a sound to it.
Now, does the music sound like it's coming from inside this room?
No, it does not. It doesn't sound like it's
Okay.
coming from anywhere. It sounds like it's part of the air itself.
I don't want to enter in the room without the cleric, so I think we should have maybe a thief on the wall, another thief on the wall, and maybe the fighter at the bottom trying to catch. We'll slow her down, and
Okay.
and the fighter will catch.
Marissa's like,
onto the armpits.
all right, here I come. She gets down on the thing, slides down on her butt, goes skidding down this thing. You guys are able to slow her down. Man, she's got a lot of momentum. She hits the fighter. You hear him just wince as soon as she hits him. They kind of stagger into the room together. Nothing untoward happens.
No damage,
No damage.
Okay.
except her knees.
Yeah, except for she's had a little bit of scrapes, but nothing big. She stands up. She looks over at the room. Smells in the air. Chapel, she says. Looks over at the. Doesn't look like it's consecrated to any one god, though. She kind of whispers to you. I've seen things like this, places like this in funeral homes and things before. They make a non-denominational chamber for, because they can't anticipate what gods are going to be for the buried. So this looks like it might be for that.
Well, good to know that it's left still generic and not consecrated to anything of any ill nature.
She kind of nods. For sure.
Okay.
Canvar says, all right, I think we're in the belly of the beast. What should we do here, guys?
So we venture on.
Who's going first?
I can. It's got me questioning their exit. If that bakery is actually an exit place now with this ramp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they have a. Maybe is it a spell that we were thinking?
Certainly.
Okay, so they could dispel on the way out.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a simple application of the grease spell.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to go through the door and out of there, okay? Am I to understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
After a quick look around the room, do we see any other exits or just this one?
Just this one exit.
Just
The
this one
door
exit.
is very fine in here. The walls that you see in here, they look like they've been plastered over stone. They're very smoothed out. It's very fine construction. It's got dark baseboards, wooden baseboards in here. Very, very well built building or room, and it looks to you like whoever made it probably had a lot of money.
Oh, okay. So this isn't. For some reason I was thinking this is like a dirt basement.
Nope.
This is.
Nope.
Oh,
This
okay.
is actually the ground floor of the building.
Oh, okay.
Because you went up the chimney, slid down, and now you're at the ground floor again.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
we went to the bottom of the chimney
Yeah,
and then
no,
went over.
no.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm understanding now.
Okay. So,
Yep.
are you going to open the door?
Listen
I'm gonna-
at the door.
Yeah.
Listen
and
at the
I'm gonna
door.
check for traps.
Check for traps. As you're, go ahead, both of you make me a percentage dice.
36.
55.
Okay. Siertik, as you're listening at the door, you hear footsteps receding away. They're some distance away. They are trailing away to your right, and they're gone
Heavy?
eventually as he's working at the door. Tehran, the door is not locked and not trapped.
Heavy foot.
No,
Like
light.
Like somebody
light.
heavily armored.
No, light footsteps. Probably either an elf, gnome, halfling, or small human.
Okay.
Tehran, something that strikes you about the door's construction, this door is unusual in that it has knobs. Most doors in the Free City of Greyhawk have a thumb latch that open it.
Okay.
Obviously, it's a medieval construction, so that's what you tend to see. This is actually much more advanced than normal doors here in the
Okay.
Free City. So you open the door
Mhm.
and you look out in the hallway, I assume?
Yes.
Based on what you're seeing from the floor plan that you have memorized, you are in the very northwest corner of the building at this point in time, in that area with the door at an angle. All right? Can you see it? Okay. In the area that you're looking at, it's a very large open area. Okay? Again, there are glass domes on the ceiling from which light flows through. You smell incense in the air. You hear that soft music. There is a door across the hallway from you. There are 3 more doors to the on the wall on which the door that you opened are. They're all closed. Again, the room has the same construction. It's plaster, white plaster. It's very fine. The baseboards are dark wood. Whatever footsteps walked away from here, they did one of 2 things, Siertik. They walked around the corner in which you can see that the hallway goes, or they left the building entirely. All right?
Okay.
The only thing that is in this room that you notice that is of any unusual quality is along the wall, just to the south of that door across the hallway from you. There is a handsome wooden podium atop which it rests an ink pot, a quill, and a book.
I guess I'm gonna sneak over real quick and just pop it open just to see. I'd like to see what's written in it, but I don't
Okay.
want to spend a lot of time here.
Tehran, what are you going to do?
Now, where was the podium at?
Right on the wall, about maybe 10 feet to the south of that door that is across the hall from you.
That's okay. I'm going to go over to the door across the hall and listen at it.
Okay, you begin to listen at it. Make me a percentage. Siertik, as you go over to the thing, what you realize is that as you look at the book, it's a registry of people that have been here, visitors, people that have come to see loved ones. It is a very it's written in many, many different sets of handwriting, different names you don't recognize. Again, it looks like what you would expect in a legitimate funeral home.
Yeah, could be coded, but I don't think I'm gonna leave it for now.
Tehran, you look at the door you're listening, unlocked,
Mhm.
untrapped, no sound through it, except for the soft music.
Hmm. And the corridor is also lit by domes in the
It's
ceiling?
lit by the domes. It's got that soft light that are in here.
Yes.
At this point, as you guys are standing in here, you're listening, being that you're very quiet folk, you can almost hear the breathing of your two teammates in the other room. It becomes
Okay.
very apparent to you that if they're going to reveal your presence in here if you drag them through here too far.
Yeah.
They're not very good at being quiet. They're cops.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Sirtik and say, Sirtik, you probably noticed our friends are a little winded, even while they're traveling on with us. Do you think we should leave them here in the chapel while we try to...
I don't think the chapel's a good idea. I think we should poke open through a couple of these doors and see if there's like a closet or maybe a private quarter there where we can put them in where we won't have more.
Okay.
Well, we'll have less traffic.
Well, I know the door across from this one. I didn't hear anything on the other side. Do we want to try that door first?
I think we should pop it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
A little bit more description of this area too. Tehran, as you're listening at that door, I should mention, do you see the area to the north where the building ends? Where it's kind of like an alcove, a 20 by 20 alcove. It's between the
Okay.
two doors. It would be just to the left of you if you were listening at that door.
Yes.
Okay. The walls in that area are different than the rest of the room. I should have mentioned this before to you. They're all covered with lush red velvet curtains. In the middle and to the rear of that alcove, a lavish casket stands atop a marble block. The wooden coffin is made of a dark lacquered timber, and within it rests a body. It's an elderly man wearing dark, expensive clothing, and he looks like he's in a state of gentle repose.
So the casket is open from where I'm at
Yep,
the opening the
yeah,
door.
you're standing right next to it. I should have described it to you when you were right there.
No problem. No problem.
It's not moving, no breathing. He's just laying there in repose. It looks like a viewing area. You're not close enough to inspect the body too much, but close enough that you can see what's in there.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the other two are still in the chapel. Siertik,
Okay.
what's your plan? What are you going to do after those words came up to you? You said you want to pop the door?
I still want to pop that door.
Okay,
It's
Tehran, are you
quiet.
going to do the same?
Yes.
Are you going to inspect the body at all or anything? Or the area?
I'm gonna let Sirtik know that there is a body in there.
As he comes
Possibly-
over, it becomes apparent to him too. He can see what what I just described.
Okay.
Not that I would want to wake the dead in such a fine, refined place, but
Siertik, are you going to investigate the body, or are you
What
going
do you
to do the door instead?
I'm gonna do the door.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys go through the open the door. Opening the door reveals the next room in front of you, and once again, the floor plan looks like it's accurate. It's about a 40 by 40 room, or 40 by 45 by, or 50 by 40 room, I should say. Sorry about. Let's try that again. This time in English. It's 30 feet wide and about 40 feet long. And what you see in there as you walk in through the doors, there's several along the walls, several different kinds of coffins. Each one of them is featuring a different style and a type of timber, and they all stand on top of marble slabs. There's a total on each wall of 3 of them. Behind each one of them, the walls are a cream-painted plaster with a lush red carpet below each one of them. The door, there's a door on the far side of the wall from where when you walk in. The air is quiet. It's still in here. Maybe it's a little bit colder than temperature outside. What will you do?
I'm gonna let Turan make the call. I don't.
A little cold in here, huh? A little
Yeah.
chilly.
Cold than outside air.
Mind you, right now your friends are still in the chapel. They're waiting for the go ahead to come over.
Yeah.
Right. This is colder
Yeah.
than the outside air.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Now, either they're doing pretty good business at this particular time of the season, but now if there's 3 on every wall, that's 12 of them?
Yeah, no, there's 3. Excuse me, there's 3 on the north and the south wall.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
6 of them.
yeah, he couldn't put too many in anywhere else. So yeah, there's only 6 of them.
Okay.
It bears mentioning that unlike the outside, these ones are all closed.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I hate to be of the paranoid disposition, but should anything also be left here to thwart intruders into this domain, would you want to try risking tangling with them now, or?
It occurs to
We
both
do have
of
a
you,
priestess
as
of
experienced
Lord.
thieves, a fight in
Mhm.
here would certainly alert everyone in the building to your presence.
Or should we go back and check the other doors first?
I'd say go back.
Okay.
Check the other doors first. Okay.
Okay. Now, there, as you can see on the map, there is another door in the room. If the map holds true,
Right.
is that the door you're going to check, or are you going to go back out to the foyer and check one of the other doors?
No, check one of the other, because when we went out, we went to where the well, there was the chapel. Or no, there was the there was the chapel.
The chapel, and then you walked in through the door that was right across from there.
Right, and that was where there was someone in a casket.
Yep,
but we didn't inspect the body.
that's correct.
Then we went to another door, and that's the one where we found these closed caskets in the colder room.
That is also correct.
Okay, so there's still 2 other doors in that hallway we haven't checked.
Actually, there's 3. There's
3?
2 that lead into the room that's right below you from the chapel that you walked into, and then there's the mirror room of the chapel that's at the very bottom of the map.
Okay. All right, you want to take the next closest door then, Sirtek?
So I don't think he heard that. His headphones were off for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No.
Battery
okay.
died.
And I was going to say, since we already know what's in 2 of the rooms, and there's still 3 more, do you want to go back to the closest room and take a listen to that, and we'll see what's in there also?
Yeah,
since our other friends are still waiting at the chapel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good method.
You guys open the door in the south. Again, they're not locked. They're brass knob doors. They're not trapped.
Okay.
Inside of this room, it's a large room, and it's dominated by very large, expensive pieces of wooden furniture. On its north, south, and west walls, from your perspective, looking at it on the map, plush couches with fine upholstery have been pushed against the walls. In front of each one of them rest low wooden tables made of the same dark wood as the building's baseboards. Pieces of art hang on the wall. They're mostly unremarkable landscapes, and they're in gilded frames. And the room is lit from above with the same dome fixture that you see everywhere else. It looks to you both like the kind of a room that's reserved for the family where people are being buried. That they're all, where everyone gathers so they can have some privacy.
I say we put them in here.
You're going to summon the your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, there's couches. At least they can be comfortable.
Okay, you lead them into that room. You try and get them to be as quiet as possible. They have heavy armor. It's not that easy, but when they get into the room, you don't see anything jump out or anything out of any of the other doors. Nothing seems too untoward. You're in. They go in.
All right.
They look at you, and Marissa's like, "I have to be honest. I don't feel terribly comfortable with you investigating this place by yourselves, but as professionals," she nods. Please be careful.
We'll do our best. We'll shout if we need you.
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. Canvar just nods. I'll be there too.
Thank you.
Okay.
He says, maybe we should have an exit strategy planned. He goes, I see the front door is right over there. He goes, you want this all goes sideways, maybe we should just haul out of the front doors.
That's a possibility, unless they're trapped or barred.
We could check that first for him.
He
at
looks.
least,
He just kind of rolls his eyes. He says, you thieves always have to make it worse, don't you?
Because I know it is worse.
He says, fair enough. He goes, well, good luck.
All right.
So you guys go to the front doors then?
Yeah, I'm kind of a little leery about those footsteps I heard before. Makes me think of maybe a roving guard, and they haven't come back. I mean, we've only been in this hallway for, I don't know, 5 minutes at most. So, I'm still gonna be really I'm gonna slow down and try to listen for footsteps and see if I can't catch somebody around a corner or something.
Would you also at this point like to either hide in shadows or move silently?
Yeah, for sure.
I need both of
I would
you
like to.
roll 3 percentage dice and tell me the result of each.
Okay.
Okay. First 48.
Okay.
Second 04.
Uh-huh.
And third 51.
Okay. Siertic?
Yep. 9, 98, and 19.
Okay. Tehran, you feel like you are moving pretty quietly. You feel like you're hidden in shadows. Siertic, same for you. Tehran, you really don't hear anything, but you see Siertic stiffen slightly like he does. Siertic,
Okay.
down that hallway that leads to the east from this foyer,
Yep.
you thought you heard laughter and something pounding on something for a second, but it was gone. The lad
Pounding
sounded
on
mirthful.
like a wall, table.
What? Yeah, it sounded like a table, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It sounded mirthful for a second, and then it got quiet again.
Okay.
You guys go to the front doors, and what you see is while the doors are not barred, they are locked. And what you do see is that there is a string that's been attached to the inside of them that goes up to the ceiling where there is a chime. That is obviously, if anyone that opened it up, it would ring the chime. Now, the both of you look at it, would be extremely easy to cut said chime.
That's what my plan is, but I'd also like to cut it at the chime. So if anyone were to walk up to the door, the rope is still connected to the door and up above. So you'd have to look up to see it was disconnected.
Tehran, are you going to do anything differently?
No, that makes sense. So we still want to make it look as if the trap is still in place.
Siertic, you go ahead and you cut it. It's very easy to do so, and you do it in such a way that it looks like the chime has not been disturbed.
Okay.
And
want to attempt to unlock the door.
I would.
Okay.
Okay, you want to? Okay.
I mean, I agree.
Okay.
I would also like
percentage dice for me, Tehran.
Okay. Because that way, even if anybody has to bolt for the door before us, it's already unlocked.
Actually, I take that back. You don't need to roll percentage dice for that. For you're inside of the building. You go ahead and you're easily able to unlock it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. With that taken care of, Siertek, let's go back and we'll tell them that what we've done.
Okay.
So if they need a way to bolt out, they know it's safe to at least run out.
You go to the family area over there, and they listen very closely to what you say. All right. So here's what I plan on doing, Canvar says. If you guys get in any trouble down there and you yell, we're coming after you. If I hear commotion and nobody yells, we'll bolt out. Fair enough?
That's fair.
Because that way you have a lever to pull for us to either have you as backup or not.
Right. Now, was there a name on the body of the open one in the hallway?
No, there was not.
Because if we can somehow get that name, actually, so I go back to the registry. What's the last name on the registry?
You look at the registry. It says D. Janner.
And do you think I can tell whether that's the body outside or the person visiting?
It seems to you to be the person visiting.
Okay.
In fact, the few names above it all have surnames Janner.
Okay. So I'm going to relay that information back to them and say, I think the body out here is the Janners. A lot of local Janners have been visiting.
Visiting.
So that is also another exit strategy.
Yeah,
is to say that we're part of the
Marissa
Janner
says,
household.
actually, I know the Janner family. You're right. Actually, they don't come from here. They're actually, I think they have a house in the Garden Quarter. I think their son gets into a lot of trouble. I've run into him a couple times. But they're a pretty nice family for the most part. I didn't know that somebody had died in the family.
Okay.
So, do you want us to maybe try and pose as Janners?
If someone walks into this room, I think that's going to be your best option, is to pose as a Janner, and then if the guards are sounded, then run for the door.
Okay. Sounds good. That's what we'll do then. Pilar be with you. She says it and shakes her head, guys' sighs. So where are you guys going to go from there?
What do you think, Jaron?
Yes, Pelor be with us. If not, we'll be with Pelor. But okay. Well, I noticed when we were coming down the hallway, something seemed to attract your attention.
I've heard some noises, and I'd almost like to check it out. Maybe that's the roving guards, or maybe there's a party going on. If there's a couple people in there and we can knock them out, we might have
Well,
this whole place to ourselves.
I do love a party. So
I like breaking parties.
She says, Marissa says, remember, there were, in addition to the old Varric, she says there were supposed to be 4 brothers and a sister. So if you need a head count, she says that's who I would expect to be here.
Okay.
So you guys go down that hallway then that leads away from the foyer. There are doors on each. You see 2 doors on each part of the hallway. A door on the at the end of the hallway. The first door that you see to your left. The first door that you see to your left, you see written on the wall, in like on a plate, a brass plate. It says storage.
Now we find the storage closet.
Sure.
To the right of it.
Never.
To the right of it, you see another brass plate on the door, and it says Office of F. Vernick.
I'm gonna listen into that.
Listen closely. Go and make me a percentage.
Yep. Both of us.
Yep.
Okay.
If Toronto intends on listening, yes.
I definitely do. 64.
Nothing
71.
that you hear. What do you got, Sierra Tech?
71.
You hear nothing as well.
Okay.
Gonna go further down the hallway?
I'd like to listen to all the doors before we start cracking them.
Okay.
Okay.
What you hear in the one that's on the left, that's a little bit further down the hallway,
Okay.
you see the plate on the door. It says private. At the end of the hallway, the door says, the plate says privies. And on the south wall, the last of the doors that's further down the hallway, it says Office of A. Vernick.
Which is
Agnes, the youngest sister.
Okay.
Yes, the F is the oldest brother, Franz, from what you heard in the meeting.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right.
As you are listening to the doors, I need you to make one more percentage die for me.
69.
Okay.
11.
Sierratic, both of you guys hear on the north, through the north door, the one that says private on it.
Private.
You hear noise in there. It sounds like a bunch of men talking. You hear laughter every once in a while coming through there, through the door. Tehran, you were listening to all of them. You really didn't hear anything, but Sierratic on the south door at the end that said Office of A. Vernick, you hear the music seems a little bit softer in there, and you think you hear something scratching in there. It doesn't sound like claws. It sounds almost like somebody that writes with a very heavy hand on parchment.
Oh, okay. But not an animal. Most likely humanoid.
No, like something, the activity, and it sounds like somebody writing feverishly.
Okay.
What will you guys do?
Okay. Well, you let me know which door you heard noise coming from, right, Sir?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, do you want to check out the party first and see what the gentlemen are doing in there?
Sure.
Okay. I need to know
Okay.
how you guys would like to approach this, because the way that you approach this with a lot of people inside of there, if you don't approach it properly, you know you're going to alert them. Or are you guys just going to bum rush the show?
Well, first I'm gonna check to see if the door's even locked.
Okay.
Yes.
CR percentage.
Mhm.
13.
Okay. Tehran?
Oh, okay. 54.
Very quiet. Lee, check it. You're starting to hear a little bit as you're working on the lock. You can hear what's going on inside the room a little bit more. The
Okay.
context of the conversation in there, you hear stuff like words like ante and roll already, and it sounds like somebody's gambling inside of there. You're hearing some sounds of like dice on a table. It does not seem like it's locked.
I almost say leave them alone for now. They could be in this game for an hour, and we could be in and
Yeah.
out of here.
This is true. No sense to interrupt their game. Okay. All right.
And you're going to check the door to the south as well for lock, I would imagine. The one where you
Yes.
heard the other noise from.
Mhm.
Yes.
You check on that door, and as you do, you can tell it's not locked.
Okay.
Whoever is in there is writing clearly to you, and there's a stopping and a starting and a stopping and a starting. Will you open the door?
I think we can, and we may have a way to tie and bind this person if we need be.
Yep,
What
you
do you
guys
think?
still have some silk rope left.
Mhm. I say you want to knock and walk on in, or just open up and pretend we're just fellow mourners and we've gotten the wrong room, and let's get a look out at who's in there.
Yeah.
We know we're looking for.
Okay.
We know who to look for from the two people where we saw descriptions of. If it looks anything like either of them, we don't have to feign any pretense if you don't want, and we just try to take them out as quickly and quietly as possible. What do you think, Sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think two of us can overpower
Little
them.
knock on the door then.
Yeah, lightly, and then quickly open the door as if we're like expecting to be able to go in and meet whoever it is we're going to meet.
Okay.
Well.
Tehran and Siertek, I need to know, what are your charisma scores, both of you?
Tehran is 16.
And Siertek?
Same.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There you go.
This is where the kind of thing where
Yeah.
it's nice to have soft skills. Okay, you knock on the door and open it up. Who's first, by the way, going through the door?
We'll let Tehran go on this
Okay,
one.
Tehran, you knock on the door. You open it up real quickly. This is what you see in the room. The room, as per the map, as it indicates, it's a 20 by 20 room. Along the center of the south wall is a fine wooden desk and chair. All right. Behind that is an oil painting of a rolling landscape leading up to white cliffs. The west wall of the chamber is a massive bookcase. In the northeast corner of the room, there's an expensive wooden dresser and a foldable privacy blind. And as you open the door, there's a woman behind the front door. Or behind the desk. And she looks at you as if surprised. She's in the middle of writing. She's very young. She's probably about maybe 25, you figure. She's got straight black hair, frames her face with a braid on one side of it. She wears robes. She looks at you like shocked for a second as you open the door. What's your first move? Right away, what's your first move?
I'll ask. But I'm just going to use one of the daughters' names. I'm looking. I'm sorry. I'm looking for
Agnes?
whatever Vernick.
Yeah,
right?
and Agnes.
Yes. I'm looking for Agnes Vernick. Is do you?
She looks
are
at you.
her,
She goes,
perhaps?
"That's me. Who are you?"
Oh, shit.
She looks at the back between you, back and forth.
I'm gonna walk up to her.
As you start walking up to her, she stands up, slowly puts her quill down. Who are you exactly?
I'm here about what was the body outside?
Janner.
Janner. I'm here for the Janners.
She looks
Yes,
over at
we're
you.
friends of the family.
Oh, she says, I didn't hear you enter. She goes, I'm Agnes Svernik. She walks up, shakes your hand. Make me a percentage die roll, Siertek and Tehran.
15.
Okay.
49.
Okay. She looks at the both of you. She says, I'm Agnes Vernick. She says, did you, she says, you know where your, what relation are you to the deceased? Speaks in a heavy Renee accent.
I'm his cousin on the far side of town. That family doesn't know me too well, but we kept in touch from time to time.
She looks over at Tehran. Waiting for you to, you're going to say?
Yeah. And saying, yes, oh, old friends of the family. You know.
I see.
With some of their other relatives, and out of respect, we arrived recently in Greyhawk and heard of the misfortune of the family, and wanted to come and pay our respects.
I see. Well, please, I'll show you where we're keeping your. She looks at you, uncle. Then I would suppose he would be.
Yes.
Please follow me.
And at this point, I'm gonna grab her.
Okay. You're going to grab her?
Yeah, and because I assume she's gonna turn her back to me.
She is.
And I'm gonna try to cover her mouth.
Okay, make me a 20-sider.
17.
Oh, nice. You came through in the clutch when you needed it. Tehran, you see her turn around. As soon as she does, Sierra grabs her mouth, grabs her around, starts struggling. She screams into his hand.
Okay.
But he muffles her very, very well. What will you do?
Well, I say we help finish this out, and not wanting to apply lethal damage to her, I'm going to attempt to pummel her in the back of the head with the butt of my sword.
Make me a 20, please.
Okay.
Are you skilled in non-lethal?
No.
I'll find out in a moment.
First edition's
19.
Ooh, first edition's a little different than that, Luke.
Yeah.
Once again, I find myself using the pummeling, grappling, and overbearing rules here for Sierra. You watch Tehran hit her right in the back of the skull with his with the pommel of his sword, and she drops like a cut marionette in your arms.
I was hoping we'd just tie her up, man.
She's out cold.
The first thing I presume is, okay, does she still appear as she appeared when we came into the room?
Yes, very much so.
Oh darn! It wasn't the illusionist. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't want to leave a body. So I think I'm gonna drag it back or carry her, back to our other party members, and they can hold or like watch the body.
Here, hold her.
Like, hey, we found this chick, and I don't know what happened to her, but we're gonna gag her just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
There might have been a slight misunderstanding, but you could just make sure she stays quiet.
Okay, you guys are going to subdue her.
Yes.
Okay, you guys begin to tie her, and you gag her. She is unconscious in your arms.
I don't think we even needed to tie her. I only wanted to gag her, so if she wakes up, she's not screaming, and then the other two can just.
Well, you know what? We don't need her flailing down the hall after us either. So maybe a quick tying her up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. And when we do that, since she was so hurriedly, or at least you heard some noises, and she was at the desk, is there anything visible if she was writing?
Yeah, you guys want to check it out?
Yes, indeed.
I'll have him check the room while I take care of the body and go back to the NPCs.
Okay, you were going ahead and you're checking it. Sierra, you're going over across the room. Sierra, what you find is that she, or you're listening to the door again, trying to figure out what's going on. When you're listening, Tehran, to the door, or reading the script, what you see is a little bit off-putting. It is a roster of dead bodies. All right. And
Okay.
seems like shipping documents.
Okay.
The shipping documents clearly relate that they are being sent up the river from the free city of Greyhawk to some unidentified location, and it says either animated or not animated under each one of them.
What about Jenner? Is he on there?
Janner is not on there at all.
Okay.
You're reading it, Tehran, and it mentions that it says that the fugitives have arrived and are being held in the safe house. One of them has left already.
Sorry, I shouldn't ask that question.
No, that's fine. You can do that.
I'll ask it when I come back.
Okay.
Okay. No,
It seems to me right now that we are frozen up on the screen.
On
So
Twitch, yeah.
if you'll give me a second, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to reboot it, and just give me a moment. We're going to do that right now. Let's do that right like this.
Damn technology.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to send you guys another link to it, all right? Give me a moment.
Okay.
Everybody out there in Twitch land, we're having immense technical difficulties right now. I apologize. We're going to be resuming here in just a moment, and we'll get we'll have this back up and running here in just a moment. There he is. Man, I don't know what's going on right now with Twitch, and this has been this usually doesn't happen on my feed at all. This is really weird.
Ah, these things happen.
Yeah, I know. It's just a kind of a bummer, that's all. Yeah, this is reminiscent of the old days with Benoit here. But we're hopefully it'll come back here in just a moment. Gaetano, as soon as he comes back, we'll continue. You guys are actually really near the denouement of the module, so. And there he is. Okay, boys.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Give me just a moment. And everybody's back. Hey, and we don't have to do screen formatting. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Like I said, in Twitch land, we're having some major technical difficulties tonight. Hopefully that we're ironed out. We're really close to the end of the module. We're going to continue. You read all those Tehran, all those the briefings that of where these bodies were going to go up the river. When up the river is said, you're guessing it's towards the near div. It's pretty obvious to you what the upshot of this is. They're probably sending these bodies up Rene barges to help feed the war effort with IUs. Yes. You also recognize one other thing too. As you count bodies,
yes,
there's maybe 15 of them that have not been shipped yet. They all have the word animated underneath them. There's a few of them that have written underneath them turned to shadow.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are in there. You've knocked her unconscious. She's in your arms. What are you gonna do?
Oh,
First,
bound and
I'm going to
gag?
tell Sirtic that I don't feel too bad about knocking her on the head now. I'm going to. I'd like to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so I was thinking I'd just split the party for 2 minutes. I was gonna bring the body and drop the body and tell the NPCs to take care of it
Okay.
or take care of her while he was running around that room. That's why I said I shouldn't have been talking because I wasn't.
Oh.
I
Okay,
wasn't there.
Siertik, you take the body over there while you're investigating Tehran. Siertik, you get the body back to him, and Marissa and Canvar are standing there. As soon as you open the door, they look at you. Oh, Marissa's like, and what have you brought us? She
My
looks down at
girlfriend.
it. She goes, that's Agnes Vernick, isn't it?
We dated a while back.
She laughs a little bit. She goes, I can see she was pretty kinky. She looks up and down at the bonds. What evidence?
She cooperated pretty well.
Canvar is a little less enthusiastic about this than Marissa. He goes, "What evidence did you find that she's involved in this?"
Nothing yet, but we we were stuck.
He nods. He goes, "Well, I hope we find something. Otherwise, we're gonna have some explaining to do."
No one knows that you are involved yet. It's just two guys walking around causing trouble.
Well, I'll blindfold her then. You guys get on with it.
That's our job
and we'll keep
description.
her. We'll keep her here.
Okay, thank you. So I hurry back to.
Tehran is just closing the
Tehran.
book. He has kind of a discomfited look on his face.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When
please.
I come back, do you tell me what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not only going to tell you what happened. I'm going to take the papers that she was writing out a lot of this information and the book, or was she writing in the book, or were these separate sheets?
She was writing in the book. And
In the
as
book.
you look at the book goes
Yeah.
back about 5 years. About 2 years ago, it changes hand into a different female script. They've been at this operation for about 20 years doing this, feeding the free cities dead to IUs.
Mhm. Okay,
So
well, I'm going to
she's
relate.
involved.
Yeah, I'm going to relate to Sirtic. I said, I'm going to take the book. I'm saying, we need to get this to Danvik and Marissa. The mayor and the city guard will want this as evidence, and they should at least excuse us for how he mistreated the lady who was here writing in here after letting him know what it said, basically.
Okay, you guys got to bring the book back?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys
I'm gonna
bring the
ask-
book back.
Mhm.
Marissa and Canvar, when you explain to them what is in it, they both nod sagely. This is more than enough evidence to bring this whole place down. Tehran Sertic, she says, at this point, knowing what we know about this place, it would be easy for us to call in the city watch and have this place stormed based on what we know here. But if we do that, I'm afraid that that whoever is in here, the refugees, they'll have a chance to escape. Do you want me to call somebody right away, or do you want me to? Do you guys want to explore this place a little bit further and see if we can find the refugees?
I think we should probably try and find the refugees. Sirtic, I let him know, aside from the book, did I have time to look anywhere else in the room while I was in there?
Not really, no.
No. I'm going to let him know, do you think it's worth checking out her bookcase or anything else that was back there, or even the desk, to see if we might find anything else of value or use? Or do you want to?
I think in her position of power, she might have something of value in that desk, especially for self-defense, which we were able to circumvent.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys go back to the room, and you
Okay.
begin to explore the room. You're searching for traps the entire time, I would imagine.
Yes,
and
trying
for
to stay
secret
as
and
quiet
hidden-
as possible.
Yes, for secret and hidden things that you find in there. What you
Yes.
see is this. Make me a six-sider, both of you.
2.
3.
On the west wall of this room, there is a secret door that leads to the room next to it.
Is that the room that goes to where the people are playing cards?
No, that's the room that also is on the south side of that corridor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. As you see the secret door.
Okay.
What you see inside of here in particular, though, there is, as I said, the beautiful chest and the the desk and things like that. You're starting to search it out, and what you find in the place is it seems very nondescript inside of there. It looks like she's got very simple tastes. However, behind the privacy screen, you see a there's a chest over there in which there are all sorts of extremely fine clothing in there. There's a wand. There's a strong box in there, a metal strong box. And yeah, that's what you see in there.
Well, the wand is easy to snag and not be overburdened by, so I say we snap that. And I
snag the
think you and I can probably pop that strong box in no time.
Percentage dice, both of you.
02.
75.
Yeah. Tyran says really simply, because he just puts his pick in there and just almost pops automatically. What you see inside of there are a pair of bracers, a cloak, a pair of the ugliest set of plaid boots that you've ever seen in your life, and a robe, a horn made out of animal horn in there that's been bound with silver in a few places, and a bag full of cash in the form of coinage.
So at this point, I lean over and I say, "How much you want to bet those ugly plaid boots are magically imbued?"
Usually, the more garish they are, the more they are.
Siratic, are you going to put them on?
No.
Oh, come on. They'll go nice with your colorful outfit.
They would go nicely with your colorful outfit, actually.
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that I'll be only able to run all the time.
You're gonna loot the place and that's it then?
Yeah, I think we're gonna just spread this loot.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna equip anything, so just somebody takes the cloak, somebody takes the boots.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out in the end.
Yeah.
Tehran, you were also exploring the desk some more, I would imagine, looking at this stuff. On top of it, one of the books in it that is a business ledger. 4 pages into it, there's another cover inside of it, and it turns into an Iusite holy text. There is a bookmark in there also in which magical writing is written on.
Okay. Meaning this is a separate book inside the book?
It's a separate book inside the book.
Book? Okay. Can I pull the book out of this book?
Yep. It's an Iusite holy text, as I said.
Oh.
And the bookmark is in the small book?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Making sure we're getting both.
Yep,
Yeah.
you get both.
Yep. Close it on the bookmark. Take the book out.
Okay.
Yep. Put it in our backpack.
Okay. As you go ahead and as you take the small book out, Tehran, I need you to make me a saving throw.
Yep.
That's what you get for opening the Necronomicon.
I know. 2 Barada. Oh, and there we go. 17.
Okay. For a second, Siratic, you see this umber kind of snake rear up out of the book, and it lashes out at Tehran but misses him completely and then disappears.
I have blades drawn. Too late.
Yeah, it disappears then. The spell's power has been extinguished.
Okay.
At least it wasn't explosive runes.
Nah, sepia snake sigil. You know I love me some Unearthed Arcana. Anyway, so go.
Okay.
The room has been pretty much neutralized at this point, unless you want to go through the secret door into the other room that said office on it.
Should we take a shot at the secret door?
Yeah, because it might lead into a closet in the other room that's unable to be opened from that side or something.
There you go. Save us the time and trouble. Yes, we're going to try to
you walk
open,
into there through the secret door. The
Mhm.
whole thing is nothing but crates of paperwork. Crates and crates and crates of paperwork. They're stacked up onto each other. It looks like it should have been somebody's office, but whoever it is hasn't done any work in here. Franz has apparently not done any work in here in a long time, and now his sister just uses it to store paperwork.
So at this point,
yeah, go ahead.
Back when I used to adventure, when I'd see situations like this, we'd usually burn the entire building down. Is that an option here?
It is an option here, but if you did burn the entire building down, you would be in a situation where you might again let the refugees escape.
Right.
Especially
You at least gotta
especially
stop
if
the
their thought
refugees.
was that they're coming and going magically.
Right.
Hmm.
Sorry. Go back to my old adventuring ways.
Yeah. If it weren't for the refugees we gotta find,
I
would be right
remember
with
how
you.
well you like to use flaming oil, Siertic.
All right. I guess I'm gonna rifle through the papers. Just take, we'll say, 60 seconds and just look through 3 or 4 stacks.
Mhm.
And
The
I'm
stacks
not.
of paperwork are they're the type of paperwork generated by a normal funeral home: receipts, death certificates, tax documents. There's every one of the crates is clearly labeled in the common tongue, for the exception of a single crate that hides behind the room's desk.
Mhm.
Do you have any intention to investigate that one?
Yeah. I mean, we're in a secret room. I don't really
Mhm.
feel like I'm too stressed
As
over
you look
traps.
at it, it's clearly around the entire edge of it. It has been sealed by by a seam of wax. Will you disturb the wax seal?
No.
No.
Okay,
I'm
so white
afraid.
wax.
I'm afraid it might be ruined, and that might be magic. But how heavy's the box?
It's full of paperwork, so it's probably about
25 pounds.
50 pounds, 40 pounds.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring it back into the main room.
Okay.
And when we go back into the hallway, I'm gonna refer back to our safe zone and drop that too.
Okay.
I
take it
I
back to
prefer to
the
open
thing.
that in the citadel or something like that.
More presents, Marissa says when you bring back the thing. By the way, our friend's awake right now. She's blindfolded, like I said, gang bed. She's kind of
Mhm.
rolling around on the ground. Canvar's sitting on top of her.
Mhm.
We gotta make this quick.
Yeah. Okay. Once more, back out to the room with the gentlemen in their game.
Okay, so you go back to the door where their game is.
Yes.
What will you do?
I'm thinking, I'm hoping that they're the refugees, and if you did hear someone walk away, they may be the one that made it out. If it wasn't Agnes, quote Agnes, that we knocked out.
All the doors have been open?
All the doors have been open for the exception of that one where they are. Actually, you haven't opened the other doors. There's 2 doors you haven't opened. The one
We didn't open the privy, I don't
Yeah,
think.
you haven't opened the privy, and you haven't opened the one that says that leads to storage.
Let's crack those
Oh.
open real quick. 5
Okay,
seconds.
you open up the
Okay.
privy one. This
Okay.
is what you see in there. It is
What are we
about
privy
maybe, as
to?
I said, about a 30-foot long corridor
Mhm.
Yeah.
that ends in looks like a chair of some kind. There is a hole on the top of the chair, and it leads downward. Okay. On the wall are all kinds of looks like small bits of tissue paper, some cleaning supplies, things like that.
In the cleaning in the storage unit.
Yes. Now
Okay.
the thing I need you both to make me a percentage die roll.
48.
23.
Something weird occurs to you about the privy. There's no smell coming out of it.
Out of the hole that
Yep.
you talked that went down.
Yeah, there's no foul smell coming out of the hole.
They could be the refugees. The refugees are prisoners. Is that what it is?
No, they're they're Iuzites that are being
Right.
held here in a safe house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Methinks there's still a stench in this privy.
I guess we could poke our head down. It's not like I got a torch, so I'm not worried about that.
There you go.
Okay, you go in.
Okay.
You're gonna take a look down there, Siertic.
Yeah.
The privy hole goes down and stops right at the level of the floor. This could not possibly be a privy. Normally, it would drop all the way down into a well of some kind. It is not.
Yeah.
Is the base wooden?
Yeah, it is. In fact, make me a percentage die roll, both of you.
64.
The
Even
whole
10.
5-foot square on which it sits is slightly discolored from the rest of the floor, and you can see a hinge all along the bottom of that 5-foot square behind the privy. It clearly, actually, the whole floor lifts up here.
Look at the lighter stain of this varnish. You would think if somebody's going to try to attempt to cover it, they'd at least use something similar, something more oak, maybe like a rich, maybe look, it's obviously cherry and relwood. I mean, come on.
It just doesn't match.
No.
So where are you guys going to
Um,
go?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pop it.
Okay. Percentage dice for both of you, please.
Yep. 0-5.
Okay. And you, Sirtik?
58.
Okay. Both of you are exploring on it, and it's not locked at all in any way. What you're able to do is you're able to put a dagger down there and pry it up a little bit, and then just lift the whole thing up on the hinge. As it does, it reveals a staircase going down. Looks like it goes down to about 30 feet. There are torches lit on the wall in sconces that lead down this stairway and flattens out there into a larger area.
So to me, this looks like it could be possibly an exit chamber. I'm thinking we might be able to somehow bar this and then bring out our other 2 fighters, and we can fight the people playing cards or whatever. And if they're to run, they're not going to get out this way. What do you think?
Well, I'm a little leery of leaving our evidence and our hostage alone if they both come and join us.
We could put her in that closet.
Over back in the secret room. See,
Or we could. We're
Yeah, go ahead.
thieves.
I know. Sorry, it's the fighter spirit within me. I don't like the idea of fighters waiting in a room for when we might need to leave.
Right.
Down the stairway, you are
Mhm.
able to hear the sound of it sounds like a short discussion in a female voice, a kind of a little giggle, and that was it.
Young, like 20, or are we thinking like 50?
Maybe in their 20s or mid to late 20s.
Okay.
It was that giggle again. Okay, you know what? I say we go down there.
I think that's the illusionist.
I know it's got to be the illusionist. I'm hoping it is.
Are you going down there?
What I'm thinking is, well, look at it this way. If we make any noise, if we scream or holler, they're going to come to our aid anyway.
And so are the poker players.
Yeah, I told you there was a reason I didn't
There's
like
a
leaving them in
voice
that
that
room.
stops. The giggle stops abruptly, and it says, "Agnes, is that you?" Up the stairs. Franz?
I'll tell you what. Go get them. I'll go down and keep her busy.
Oh, okay.
You want to?
So I rush back.
Yeah.
You rush back into the room. Tehran, you're
Throw
going
the door
downstairs.
open
What are you
and
going to do?
say-
Let's
and just say-
handle Tehran first, and then I'll handle you, Sierra.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to now, having heard her speak to us
Yep.
a little bit, I'm just going to say in as feminine a voice as I can, and then being an elf, or at least half
it'll
elf,
help.
I may have
It'll
a
help.
timbre of the voice. I'm just going to say, I thought you had called me. Is everything okay?
I should have known you'd put something down here that you could hear us speak. You hear? No, I didn't call you, but you could come down. You can see what I've been working on if you'd like. Meanwhile, Sierra, you're back. You go back to the room. Open the door. As soon as you do that, they both stand up or get ready to anyway. And what are you gonna say?
So I throw the door open and then I say, "Hurry up! Morpheus is fighting Neo." No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to. So I say, "Hurry! We need your help."
Oh, they both come running after you. Marissa stops the door. What do we do with her?
I leave her here. She's
nods.
bound. We're only going to be 5 minutes. I think we're going to be.
Let's hope we're only 5 minutes. Let's go. You guys start going down the hallway.
And be as quiet as you can.
Yeah, it's not working real well. Tehran, meanwhile, downstairs. You can go ahead and you can come down here to see what I've been working on if you'd like.
Go. Well, okay, but I have a present for you.
Oh, I love presents.
I know. I'll be down soon, but I'm going to send the present down first.
If this is one of your brothers, I'm not interested. I told him 5 times already.
And I'm going to. Taran is going to start.
Meanwhile, you start hearing the chinking down the hallway behind you.
Yeah.
Man, these guys are loud.
Yeah.
Siertik's right there already.
Taran's going to start going down.
Okay, you start going down the stairs.
I'm going to keep my eyes.
I knew it was one of your brothers.
I'm going to stare as zombie-like as I can, and move in a somewhat stiff fashion, and come walking down casually and see what I see in the room with this woman.
Not bad. Okay. What are you gonna do, Siertik? You're right there with him. You gonna try and follow suit?
I'm actually gonna ask about some D&D rules.
Go ahead, hit me with it.
Now's the time.
The magic wand. Can anyone cast magic wands? How's that work in first edition?
It does not. You are not able to use a wand.
You're not at all.
Nope.
Okay, so it's like a special word, and I don't know it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I come rushing down to be right behind him or right beside him, and I'm gonna have him lead the way. He knows the situation more than I do.
Okay. I'm going to whisper to Siertik real quick. Follow my lead, like we're entranced.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
You guys start walking down the thing. What you see inside the room is as follows. The room is about maybe 30 by 30. Okay. There are doors to the north, south, the doors to the north, east, and west. In the middle of the room, there's a woman standing there. She is exactly like the description of her that you saw on the paperwork. It is definitely Bellatrix Alleluna. All right. She stands there. She looks at the two of you. But with her, in the middle of the room, there's a big circle on the floor. It's a silver circle that's made out of, it's actually been inlaid into the floor in a magic diagram. Standing inside of that is an 8-foot-tall creature, large fangs coming out of its mouth. It's got greasy, horrible skin, bug eyes, a long spiked tail. It almost moves ape-like, low to the ground. Its arms are almost too long for its body. Claws ripping through skin. It just kind of scrapes them slowly against the ground. And she's holding a piece of silver in her hand. It looks like it's been pried out of the magical circle. She sees you two. This is probably the most important die roll of the game. She sees you two, and she goes, what do I... She looks like she's shouting up the stairs. She goes, what in the world would I want to do with a pair of zombies? And you hear Marissa from the top of the stairs go, I told you it was a present. You can do with them whatever you want. She looks at you two. She looks at the thing. She looks at you two. She goes, do you mind if I use them for target practice? I went to a lot of trouble to enchant those dead bodies. I'd prefer if you didn't just lay waste to them. I don't know, use them for labor or something. You walk into the room. You see her. How close are you going to approach her? What are you going to do? This thing is standing there looking at you, eyeing you both very suspiciously.
I'm walking past her, and I'm walking towards the wall. And
Stop there, zombie, you fool!
I'm gonna keep walking.
She yells at
and I hit the wall, and I keep walking into the wall.
She sighs. She says, "These are the dumbest zombies I've ever seen."
Is she still watching him?
Yeah, she's still watching him. You're right behind her. But the beast that's in the middle, also turns and is looking at him.
I'm sure. Is looking at him?
Yeah, it's looking at him. So they both have their backs turned to you right now.
Okay, well, the prettiest thing I want to see in the room, since she's looking at him, is her back.
That's what I was going for.
I find a new... Thank you, sir. I find a new sheath for my sword.
Okay, I need you to roll me a 20. You're going to hit no matter what you do here. However, I need to see if you roll a 20 or a 1.
I need a 20 or a 1?
I need to see if you roll a 20 or a 1.
Okay, hold on. 15.
Okay. You see, well, you don't see because you're leaning up against the wall, pounding. Taran, you've got the back all lined up. You're ready for the shot. You sit back, and you stab right through clean air because she's standing 5 feet from where she should be. Initiative, everybody. Sixers, please. 6-sided dice.
I'm still walking.
And I'm going to say, I just got to say to her, that's not very nice. 2.
6, you said?
Okay.
1.
She flips around and looks at you. She goes, oh, this old cloak of displacement? Oh, that's nothing. She goes, this, on the other hand, is something. And she begins to gesture through the air. Meanwhile, this demonic creature in the middle of the room, which turns away from Siertik, is going to attack you, Turan.
Okay.
This is not good.
You hear running coming down the stairs.
Could be worse, Siertik. Could be 2 things in the circle.
Miss, hit. The thing goes ahead and it lashes out with one of its claws. It is so powerful, Siertik. You actually see it hit Turan on the side. It takes him off of his feet. You go slamming against one of the far walls of the room. You think you hear something in your shoulder snap. Take 5 or 11. Excuse me, take 11. You hit the wall. There's pain rippling all up and down your body. Where it hit you, blood is just gushing forth. Your leather armor has been ripped on the side of it. Your vision is kind of blurry for just a half a second from the impact. Siertik, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for the wizard again.
Okay. Attack.
Spellcaster.
Make me a 20. What are you going to use? Excuse me.
I'm gonna. Am I dual wielding? I think.
Yes,
I
you
am.
are.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do a fury of blows.
Okay,
You know
make me
how-
2 20s.
All right. I'm getting rid of that die. 7
Okay, it's a miss.
and a 10.
Okay. It's so hard to square her up because of that cloak of displacement. She looks like where she should be, and you kind of try and are hedging your bets, and you hit in another area, you miss, you stab through another area, plain air, you just hear her giggle again. Down the stairs, your 2 companions are rushing down there. You think you hear something further up the stairs starting to noises. Okay, what she's going to do is this. Okay. In the room, meanwhile, in one of the corners of the room, you see out of the shadows themselves these horrid-looking, furry, 8-foot-tall humanoids with features that are like the blood is going down their faces. They're missing parts of their bodies. They're lurching towards you. They're slow, but they look so terribly menacing. You've both seen bugbears before, but they look like they must be undead. Okay, that's their round. That's their round. And now we go to the beginning of combat again. Turan, your turn. You're in the other corner of the room from these things.
I'm on the other corner from the room?
Yes, that's a one saving grace to this, is it threw you out of the area from those things.
Okay, who is closest to
The demonic creature.
Of course it is. About how far away from me?
10, 15 feet.
Is its attention on me or anyone else?
No, it's looking at Siertek now because it thinks it might have killed you.
Okay.
Is it flaming?
No, it is not. It is not a
No
flame.
flames. Okay.
Okay. Again with
Neither of you have seen or
Okay.
read anything like this thing. You have no idea what it is.
It's new.
No, it's
No?
really old.
Oh, see, I don't like that. That's worse. Okay. Can I attack? Well, see now I'm thinking now with first edition. Can I hold my dagger and attack with my sword at the same
Yes,
time?
you can. You can go dual wheel. Remember,
Okay.
what's your dexterity?
Dexterity is 18.
You will take a penalty of a -1 on your offhand, but that's it.
Okay. Then I'll attack with the dagger in my main hand,
Okay.
and I'll take with the short sword in my offhand, so I'll lose 1 off of that.
Okay, go ahead and make me 2 20s. And what where are you attacking, the demon or her?
Is her back towards me?
No, her back
No.
is now, she's looking up the stairs at the noise. So you're kind of got a side attack, both you. You have a
Yeah.
side attack on her. Siertek is attacking her from behind.
Well, Sutrik's already attacking her from behind.
Okay.
I'm going to go for the creature.
Okay, you attack the creature.
I'm going to attack the creature.
2 20s.
Okay, first one is 20,
Oh, nice. And the other one?
and the other one is a 11.
Okay. You bite into the thing with your dagger. You hit it. stab it in the side. Blood begins to start pouring out of the wound, all down your arm. You can almost feel the blood just kind of tingle your arm. It's like it's caustic slightly. It doesn't do you any damage, but you know that this thing is literally got to be a demon. You hit it in the side. It doesn't even roar. It just looks down at you, and it just looks like it frenzied with the desire to kill you. This reflection of pure malice and murder in its bug eyes.
Well, if it just so I'm sure you probably know what the dagger is. Okay.
I know. You
Just
hit it with the
the little
dagger.
Sucker wants to get better while I'm fighting it.
Yeah,
okay.
you hit it right there. Now, Siertek, what are you gonna do?
Okay.
How close is she to the rune on the ground, the pentagram thing?
She is probably about maybe 6 feet from it.
All right.
The problem with the pentagram is, Siertek, it's clear to you what she did. Her present was she pried the retaining.
Mm-hmm.
She damaged the magical diagram enough so the thing can escape.
Right. So I've got a flask of oil. I'm pretty sure it's on my.
I should have known this was coming.
Any maneuver that starts with "I have a flask of oil."
This goes way back to our days gaming together before.
I'm just trying to think wide hits because she's dodging my knives. If I throw a flask of oil at her feet and I can blast it 5-10 feet
it'll have spray. Are you gonna do that?
Right. Yeah, and then if I have turn in this round, if not, I'm gonna take a throwing dagger and just.
Well, they're two thrown attacks. I'll let you do two. So go ahead and make me the two 220s. First was the flask of oil.
Okay, flask of oil is a 13.
And the other one
is a 5.
I need you to roll me a D10 for where the splash, what direction it goes. Or excuse me, a D8. I'm sorry.
A D8. Yeah. Okay. Right there.
You guys are making me pull out all the obscure first edition rules. Okay.
3.
What'd you roll?
3.
Oh my God. Okay. Siertek spikes down the flask of oil, and it totally misses her position. But the splash splashes all over this invisible figure that standing 5 feet next to her, and you see it begin to catch fire. The cloak of displacement is now useless. You can tell where she's at because she's on fire.
Okay.
I cannot believe you just hit that. Roll me 2 6s for damage.
2 6s?
Yeah.
A 6 and a 1.
7. Oh, wow. You hear her start screaming on fire. Okay, and it was her turn. Shit.
Screams from illusionists are good. That means she can't cast a spell.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I had her next plan all set, too. She starts running towards the stairway. Right into your boys as they come down the hallway. The first one, Canvar punches her right in the face as she comes down the stairs. And I rolled a 19.
Yes.
She gets 3 stairs up and comes 3 stairs down, slams on the ground. The zombie bugbears in the corner of the room disappear. That was shadow monsters gone. Meanwhile, Marissa comes in the room and she sees this demon and she starts casting a spell. Now you guys can still hear footsteps coming downstairs behind you guys. Okay, what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to try to
It's actually Tehran's first. Tehran's turn first. Oh, wait. You know what? I take that back. The thing didn't attack yet. The demon didn't attack.
I'm going to yell
that's okay. That's okay. He can pause for a moment and take in the situation. I don't mind.
The demon decides he's going to go. I'm going to go odds for you, evens for Siertek. That's odds for you. So he's going to try and finish the job. It comes over there and attacks you. That's a miss. That's a hit. And that's a hit. It comes down with its claws, misses you, slams into the ground. Stone sprays everywhere as it hits it. Some of it bites into your legs here. The thing is so strong. Take 6 points of damage, Tehran, as it hits the ground. And the other one, now it tries to bite you right on the neck. Siertek, you see this thing come down and clamps onto Tehran's neck. It looks like it's going to tear his throat out. It's so much bigger than him. Tehran, what's your move?
First is saying, "Is that all you've got?"
Oh, I forgot the last roll. You get 3 points of damage from the bite.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
Tehran
let's
looks
see,
like
still
he's
have-
in real bad shape, Saratek.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I still have. I can attack with my dagger and sword again.
You can. You're almost dead, but yeah.
I know. All right, let's swing again. In fact, with his head and with his teeth in my neck, I think I should be able to bring up my blades to his head.
You're gonna get a bonus for sure.
We'll try. First one, 17.
And second one?
And the second one, where are we at? 14.
Okay. The second one, the first one you hit, you're right there. You hit him right in the eye with the first one, the 17. And he doesn't even blink. It doesn't look like it does him any damage at all. However, when your sword hits him and you put it in the side, definitely he howls in pain. Make me a D8, please.
D8. Okay.
A howl sounds like you can move your head out of it.
4.
Yes. 4. You feel yourself drop onto the floor as it howls in pain. You feel your blood just pouring out of your neck.
It's like a warm summer rain.
You see, Siertek, you're there behind the thing still. It looks at the ground. Bellatrix is burning on the ground right now. You see, trapped between them and whatever's coming down the stairs, you see Canvar. He's looking at that, looking up, looking at, like he doesn't even know. You guys are surrounded, so he doesn't even know what to do. Siertek, what are you going to do?
I yell for them to come over to me. I think we should get on the other side of the demon, and then hopefully the demon will not know what to do and attack them.
Okay,
I'm not sure if it's familiar with them or not.
They
Probably
start
not.
running into the room with you. Siertek, what are you going to do in particular?
I'm gonna
you
try to
run.
put
You
myself-
yell to them, come over, and they do.
Right. And I'm going to put myself in between Tehran and the demon.
Okay, and are you going to attack it?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
make
what
me
I'll
two
do. I'll come around
D20s.
that way and then try to fend it off.
Tehran, you see this happening. Your eyesight's getting blurry. You feel yourself being dragged across the floor. It feels like Marissa.
Okay.
Okay, Siertek?
2 attacks.
Yep. 20s, please.
Shit. 11 and 8.
Okay, you hit the thing. Doesn't seem to do any damage. You hit the thing again. Doesn't seem to do any damage. Canvar runs over, and he kind of is trying to use his shield to protect both of you while he's swinging. Canvar hits it. Doesn't seem like it does any damage at all. He said, "What does it take to hurt this thing?" Marissa,
dagger.
meanwhile, puts her hands on you.
Use the new sword. Use the new sword.
He looks out at you when you're saying that. You can, as you're saying that, you can feel it bubbling out of your neck, your voice. He reaches down, he grabs it with it. He'll be able to attack with it next round. Marissa puts her hands on you. You feel this vitality start to rush back into your body, Tehran. You get 6 back. 6 hit points back as the healing magic start to pour in there. You feel your for a second, Siertek, you actually see light pour out of the wound in his neck and slowly fade as the holes start to disappear in his neck. Siertek, you guys are all there? Okay, so meanwhile, the demon comes and bears down on you, slashes down with his claw, hits Canvar's shield. You see holes penetrate where the actual claws actually pierce through the shield. The other's claw rakes over your head. You can feel the wind of it, just as it's so powerful. It almost scars the skin, just the wind of its attack going past you. When it leans over to bite, it hits the shield with its face, and you can actually see part of it dent into the shield itself. Meanwhile, outside, these things, you hear some male screams at the foot of the stairs. You see 4 guys there. They all have swords. They have bows. They're obviously Renee folk, so you're almost sure that they're the brothers. They see this thing, and they go white. They absolutely, all the color drains out of their face. Tehran, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
I'm going to attack the demon again.
Tehran pops up to his feet, filled with a little more vitality.
Yep.
2 20s.
Once more unto the breach. Okay, 16
And
And 14.
Okay, you hit it again. Hit it again. D8, please, for damage.
Okay. 7.
Black blood starts to pour out of this wound in its side where you ran. It howls in anger again. Sirtek, your turn.
Well, you know what? I've got 2 flasks of oil.
Yes.
So I'm going to do the same situation because I kind of want to scare it in the other direction to either run off or attack these guys.
Okay, so you're
Give us
actually
an
going to spike it at pretty much your own feet and almost like wall of fire in the area.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay,
Yep, just to back it off.
Make me a 20.
20.
And if you want to throw a dagger, you can make me another 22.
Yep. So 10 with the 10 with the oil and 7 with the dagger.
Okay, that's a miss with the dagger, and make me an 8-sider, please.
An 8. Okay. 8.
Okay, when you spike that, that's exactly at the outside corner. So most of the wall of fire interposes itself away from you, a little further away. It's like almost a perfect landing for it. The fire rolls up. The whole top of this chamber is beginning to fill with black smoke. It's starting to become...
It never sparked.
Huh?
I missed with a dagger, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you missed with the dagger.
Oh, no, my dagger was an attempt to throw down into the oil to spark it.
Oh, no. The thing, you were already lit the oil with the tinderbox, I imagine, and threw it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to throw the dagger as an attempt to hit it.
No, I had oil, and I was like, how do I light this? So
yeah, you light it with your tinderbox before you do that.
Okay.
That's what I assume.
Perfect.
You spike it at the floor. The wall of fire comes up. The thing kind of backs up away from it a little bit, just as you thought, and you start to hear this massive melee on the other side of the wall of fire. Tehran, it's your turn.
Okay.
Get going.
Well, the wall of fire, is it between me and the demon?
Yes.
Okay. Where's the burning Bellatrix?
She was like right at the feet of the demon right now.
She's right at the feet of the demon.
And she's clearly dead.
Oh, she's clearly dead.
She's clearly dead at this point. Yeah, she's been on fire too long.
I think we got the sign from that when all the other things disappeared, right? Her
Yep.
summons.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah.
Clearly dead.
Well, I had my neck ripped into at the time, so it was kind of hard to keep track. Okay. What about the guys who went white on the steps?
They're in the middle of a fight with the demonic creature.
They're fighting the demon. Well, let's see. I think we've done about everything we can do here. Do you think we need to continue further, or should all lead a hasty retreat and let these fellows take care of their little captive?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going to try and circle around and get up the stairs and flee?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I need you both make me percentage dice.
Okay.
I'm going to give them a pat on the ass on the way out. Good job, guys.
Okay. You guys are running. Both of you guys, you're used to this kind of combat, all right? Where shit is chaotic and body parts are flying everywhere. This is where you guys thrive. But both of you slip through, and also you're half elves. So you slip through these guys so easily, sliding. You hit the foot of the stairs and run up. Marissa and Canvar are standing there. There is no way that they're going to be able to get out of here together. They know it. They're just standing there behind the fire, and they look at you. Marissa just says, "Run, get help."
No.
Ugh.
No, you got to run. I'm telling you, as a sergeant of the guard, I order you run.
Sirtik, you run and get help. It doesn't like my blades.
All right. Or I can take the blade. But you're going to stay?
Yeah.
Okay. Tehran, you're on the stairs.
Get him through the fire. Go ahead.
You're standing on the stairs. What you see in front of you is horrific carnage. This demon grabs one of the brothers and rips him right in half. You hear the sound of splitting bone. Blood just explodes everywhere. Shrieks from his other brothers. Sirtik, you're running up the stairs. You walk out through the front doors. You open the front doors, and there are 25 members of the City Watch there. They've circled and staked out the entire building. Including the gnome is there with a short sword, from the outside of the other building.
Okay. So at this point, I'm gonna say we need all the help we can get. I'd like to give like a couple of the guys a job to get the best priest or cleric they can, that might be able to deal with something like
What's the
this. But I'll
situation
bring
down there? What's going on? It's Danton himself, is there?
we have a demon that's run loose.
Paylor's mercy. Looks over at the gnome. He goes, "You're up." He nods. He says, looks over at you. "Take me to this demon." He says to Siertik.
What?
He looks at you. Take me to him.
We're not gonna feed it gnomish cuisine.
He says, "I'm not just a gnome, you idiot." He goes, "I'm a magic user too."
All right, well, let's go.
He goes, "What do you think?" He goes, "You think I help the city watch just for my health?"
I thought it was for the money.
No, pick me up and run me downstairs. My little legs aren't fast enough.
All right, so I grab him like a surfboard.
And you start running through the hallways. Tehran, you're standing down there on the stairs. This thing is wrecking the brothers, just destroying them. And in almost no time at all, it's finished with all four of them. And it looks over at the flames. It looks at you. It's just blood pouring out of this thing. It almost seems that it speaks to you in this whispering, almost sweetly feminine voice. It says, "You're next." And it turns around and strides right through the fire at the cleric and the ranger. What are you going to do?
I'm going for its back. It's
okay, make me two 20s.
Yep. Into the frying pan. 17.
And?
17.
2d8,
Glad
please.
you're rolling.
2d8. Come on. 4 and 4.
Okay, you hit the thing once, doesn't seem to do anything, but the second one, you bury your sword into the middle of things back, and it shrieks. It just stiffens up. Through the fire, you see this beam of light erupt from Marissa towards the thing's face. The thing hits it square in the face, and it screams. It seems to waver for a second. It just kind of shudders and shakes. Siertik, you run into the room with the gnome. Tehran is hanging from the thing's back on two swords. Its head is pulled back from this bolt of brilliance. What are you going to do?
Me?
Yes.
I'm gonna toss the gnome. No, no, I'm gonna run the stairs because I don't think that the gnome would be able to take the stairs in a situation like this. So I'm gonna run to the bottom of the stairs and then drop the gnome, and then I'll draw both my blades.
Okay, you drop the gnome. He looks at the thing. He starts making magical configurations with his hands. He says, "Keep it busy for a second." Okay, and
So
you go ahead and you attack. Make me two 20s.
So I'll just throw 2 throwing daggers.
Okay, make me two 20s.
All right.
Attack it. Read it poetry. Something.
3
and
15.
Okay, Tehran, you're hanging from this thing, and all of a sudden you see a dagger go flying past your head, and then all of a sudden, where you're standing like there, it goes right between your head and your arm that's hanging up there. It hits the thing, strikes it in the back. Black blood starts pouring forth from it. It's screaming in this weirdly, like a little girl, feminine shriek as its head's back. Thing whips around. Tehran, make me a 20.
Okay, hold on. 16.
Such is the force that it turns with, you actually whips you off of the thing's back, and you kind of skitter onto the ground. You look up, Siertik, you're looking down at the thing. The gnome's hands all of a sudden radiate in brilliance, and the thing starts to dematerialize and disappear completely. Just like it was never there.
Awesome.
You see Marissa on one side, she's slumped against the floor. Canvar's holding up his shield, trying to protect them both. The dead body of Bellatrix still sparking on the ground. Gore all over the ground. You hear all the guards starting to run down the stairs. The next day,
Can I say one? Can I do one last thing?
Of course you can.
Same here.
I just want to get up with enough spittle, spit on Bellatrix's dead form, and just say, "This is for the sirens."
Werekiff, thank you for so much for hanging with us through our technical difficulties. Siertek?
I'm gonna actually free the girl that we cut free, and I'm gonna be like,
You walk
I'm
upstairs, you walk into the room, she's looking at you with her blindfold on, just kind of looks over at the doorway area. You cut her free.
and I'm gonna say, I'm sorry to inform you, but all of your family's been killed by a demon in the basement.
She looks up at you, dispassionate eyes, and she says, "Am I next?"
I had no intention of killing your family. Your family was killed by Beatrix.
She looks at you, says, "May the old one spit on you," and spits on your chest.
I wipe it off. I understand.
The next day, after your wounds are all healed at the Temple of Palor, you're brought back to the headquarters. You're in the same room. Director Fanshen is in there again with Captain Marzan Tarvani. By the way, while you guys were at the temple, it was actually Director herself that saw to your healing.
Okay.
He looks over at you two. He says, "Well," he says, "my understanding is that the mission didn't necessarily go as planned, but all told," he says, "it seems to me like you brought final justice to Bellatrix Alleluna, and we have a prisoner in our custody."
Only
Says
one.
one of the Verniks, he says. "I guess I would constitute that as a resounding success, wouldn't you?"
I should say so, as well as any information that can be derived from that ledger, which was speaking of shipping bodies.
Says it's very interesting. He says, I mentioned to you before that the Lord Mayor has a very long-standing relationship with your guild. My understanding is that we don't have custody of Agnes, he says, but members of your guild do. And my understanding is she's begging to be taken now into our custody. I can't really say if that's true or not, but, rumors being unsubstantiated as they are. My understanding is that she's singing like the proverbial canary. You've done a good
She did have
service
a very
for
musical
the Free City.
lilt to her voice.
He says, "My understanding is that you managed to find no small amount of treasure within the confines of the funeral home. My understanding is also that I'm to completely forget that piece of information. What was stolen from
treasure?
there?
What treasure?
What was stolen from there must have been a terribly random act of looting after the entire situation was completed."
It's
These
terrible
are-
the disrespect for the law that some people have now.
He says the word of the Lord Mayor carries much weight in this headquarters, and he's told us in no uncertain terms that you are heroes of the Free City and that you should be free to walk on your own recognizance. He says, "Thank you very much for your efforts." Marissa and Canvar are in there, Danton are in there with you. He says, "Well, I guess this puts us back on different sides of the law now, but he says if you ever need our assistance, he says you can count on it.
Same here.
At least when we're not wearing this uniform." He says, right now, he goes, when we're wearing this, he goes, we may be enemies, he says, but when I'm not, he says, you can count us as friends.
You saved our lives.
And you saved ours as well. Not to mention thousands of others within the Free City.
And on the thought of not wearing uniforms or not being in them anymore, I do believe Sirtik and I owe Marissa a dinner.
Marissa, I would be more than happy to take you up on that. She smiles and looks at the both of you and says, "Have either of you ever had gnomish cuisine?" And that's where the adventure ends.
Hold on, it doesn't.
Oh no, we got something else? What do you got?
What is it? What's in the box with the runes?
Okay. You guys want to know what's in the box?
I took that box.
You did.
What's
You
in
did take the box.
What's in the box?
Box.
What you see inside the box.
So many movie references tonight.
What you see inside the box is when you open it up. Fortunately, you check for traps, so you disarm the traps that are on it because there are traps aplenty on it.
Magical or
No, they were
mechanical?
mundane traps.
Oh, okay.
And what you see in there are as follows. If you give me just a moment.
Yep.
I have to look at my notes because I was already closed that up because I thought you guys were done.
No, we kind of were, but I was like, I took that treasure. That's my.
Oh no,
treasure.
you guys have it. Inside of there are 5,000 gold coins that are unmarked.
Oh, okay.
Small diamonds, 12 small diamonds in there. A cloak that's wrapped up around a long dagger.
Mhm.
And finally, another wand.
Oh, okay. Cool.
When you look in there, and the last thing that you find in there is a book in which constantly words are being attached to it. It's writing that words are keep continuing on and on and on. It says on it, Agnes. It says, I haven't heard from you in some time. It says, I know that Bellatrix has orders to come to the Free City's garden quarter and meet me over by the fountain at East Gate. It says plans have changed. Please meet me instead at the Golden Phoenix. And as it goes on, Granabi Turvis spells out exactly where he's going to be.
Yeah.
The next episode of the caslHawk Chronicles, episode 3, will be player characters following up on that lead.
Oh, okay.
But for now, you gentlemen have completed your mission. Your part of the caslHawk Chronicles is done. The next episode will take up, just like you took up after the Sirens, new player characters will take up after you.
Awesome.
So much good stuff happened, guys. Thank you for playing with us. Thank you for putting up with our technical difficulties. You guys were great players. I wish Tim could have been here because it was a great session. Thank you, everybody out there in Twitch land that watch us and put up with the technical difficulties as well. I really appreciate it. You guys are the reason why I can continue to do this. I couldn't thank you enough for it.
Thank you, Carlos.
Oh, no problem. Gaetano and Luke, you guys, I've gamed with Luke for so long, so many years. I've wanted to run him a game for so long, and I'm so happy that it turned out finally that we could game together. You've been a huge supporter of mine since the beginning, and I count you as a great friend, and thank you so much. Gaetano, you've been one of my biggest supporters. I can always count on when I put up something online that you're going to be there to comment on it, and it's one of those things as a creator that keeps you going. It's creator fuel. It makes you realize that what you're doing matters, and it resonates to some people. You were right on the tip of my tongue as one of the first patrons. I really wanted to run through this thing because you're one of the reasons I'm able to do this and one of the reasons why I want to do this. So thank you so much. Both of you guys are going to get the adventure as part of the Patreon this month, which is called And Now for My Next Trick, which was a reference to Trixie's Bellatrix ability as an illusionist. You'll also see there are several rooms in here that you did not explore. There's a lot of treasure in there you guys didn't explore. So you guys will be really happy to see that. You'll also see what the treasure was that you found in here. Luke, you're going to find out that your horrible looking pair of shoes were actually boots of striding and springing. So they were that Agnes refused to wear them because they were so hideously garish. But for a guy like you, they're perfect. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sign off for the evening on Twitch. If you guys will stick around just so I can give you guys my thanks and
Sure.
we can sign off personally, we'll do that. But for everybody out there on Twitch, thanks so much for tuning in. For Gaetano and for Luke, thank you very much. As you guys could see, these guys were awesome players, expert level players. And I hope to see you guys here on the next game will be the 11th of this month where I'm going to, this weekend on Saturday where I'm going to be running First Betrayal. And after that, the 25th of November, I'm going to be having my next guest on caslHawk. You guys are not going to want to miss it. It's somebody a book that you guys are really going to like. Somebody that people have been asking about to ask questions of for so time. Somebody invested in the formative days of the Greyhawk campaign and probably did the work with which most Greyhawk fans are most familiar with. And I will leave it at that.
Yep.
See you, everybody on Twitch. Thanks so much, and good night.